so hopefully the stream doesn't go down again. But I mean, it's probably a good reason good reason why I didn't stream earlier as well. But yeah, once I'm able to get into the stream on my iPad, then I'll get going with the run. But yeah, sorry for this tardy start there. Oh god, is it gonna load? Is it even streaming? Right, this is not how I planned. Okay, right, so we should be in again. So, okay, congrats on getting 6 on 9-4. I'll add you to the spreadsheet after this run. So, is it playing, well, right, without further ado, I think we'll get going. So, yeah, going into this, my PB was a 2 hour, 29 minutes and 11 seconds. So, which is about 17 minutes off the world record. And again, it's, right, for some reason, right, I might need to open it with something else. This is really annoying. Open with Windows Media Player, maybe? Right, can I full screen it? Right, this should maybe work. Right, so third time lucky. See, a bit earlier I was, I did a run, and it was quite a big improvement over the 2 hour 29 minutes. So hopefully I can play through it now. So it's going to be a bit different to normal, because I'm normally just, well, I normally stream it live, but this time I'm going to try to, well, I'll be able to basically respond to questions much quicker, because I won't be actually playing it, because I'm basically just streaming this straight to YouTube. So I already know what the time was of this run, but I'll try to do my best to keep it a secret until the end. And yeah, well, I mean, it's a good run, that's all I'm going to say. And it was beginning to actually look like a speed run, which was good. It's still, it's still a long way, well, still a fair way off the world record, but it's definitely in the right direction. So going into this as well, my 2 hour 29 minutes is just under 17 minutes behind the world record in this category. So yeah, I am live streaming a pre-recorded video. I don't normally do this, but it's just, I normally live stream at around 7, 8 o'clock like I'm doing now. But I wanted to get a few runs done earlier, so I could get a much better run. So this way, I know I'm not going to have to reset during the middle of the run. And yeah, I already know the result, and I can just respond to comments, I suppose, and commentate this run. So just to reiterate, in Mario Percent, you can only use Mario, and you can't use any items apart from temporary ones such as the double cherry, star, and stuff like mega mushrooms, and of course headgear, like the propeller hat and stuff. It's a bit of a meme category in the community. Not many people run it, but because I like running without items, I thought I would give it a go. So without further ado, yeah, it does work now. I apologize for earlier, my internet sort of crashed on me. This is why the reason why I had to delay it as well, and then it crashed again during the stream. But yeah, it seems to be glitching out a bit if I for some reason when it goes full screen. So you're gonna have to see the play icon at the bottom. But yeah, going into 1-1, in all of my 4 previous attempts at this category, I hadn't actually had a really good 1-1. So that was something I was trying to work on. Well, at least getting a good start to World 1 in general, because there's a lot of time I could actually gain in World 1, all things considered. So straight away I was sort of going for a few skips, and actually landing it, unlike in a few other runs. So I mean, there still was a lot to improve on 1-1, but it was a lot better than my other runs. So entering the box at about a 450, which is about 3 or 4 in-game seconds ahead of what I'm normally doing. So you'll see now as we not the best ending of the level, and we wait to avoid the fireworks, because of course if you end on 441, you get fireworks which lose a second and a half. So it's just better to wait it out to 440. And I could have easily ended on a 442 or 444 on a good run, but it is a gold, it is a purple split in terms of well, the 4 runs I'd finished before now. But I know I could easily do about 5 seconds faster if I speed run it as an individual level. So I mean, a purple's a purple. So going into 1-2 as well. I mean, on my PB, I didn't actually have the best 1-2. So yeah, I knew I could probably get a bit of improvement here. Again, going for the swag skip of the of the pipe. It doesn't gain any time, but I just do it anyway because I don't know. I mean, I actually get it more consistently than entering the pipe now because I'm so used to doing it. So for me, that wasn't anything to waste. And I think what was important about this run is really trying to build a lead into World 1. I mean, what you find in this category, for now, because I'm still improving and trying to get my consistency up, deaths are still the, yeah, it's a bit like the XD skip, but not as cool. Yeah, I really wanted to improve my consistency, for now, because deaths are like the main way you lose time in this category. But I still wanted to get a good, because I was doing a lot of attempts earlier, I wanted to get a good start at least, because I know I could easily be 30 seconds up on the 2 hour 29 after World 1, and that will just help me on later. So you'll see after this another improved split, and it's another gold, or it's another purple split. This time 8 seconds ahead of my last run, and I'm already 11 seconds up. So it just shows there's a lot of time to gain over the course of the run. So and yeah, I mean, you can see my summer best already at 2 hour 14 minutes and 17 seconds. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of time to gain from my 2:29, and the world record's a 2 hour 12:21. So I mean, already after 5 runs, my summer best is approaching the world record, but it's probably going to take a lot of other runs in order to get it. So this was my first hiccup on the run. Like the runs before this, I was finishing that in 5 seconds each time, but this one time it took me 11, so I lost 4 seconds of real time to that, and 6 seconds in-game time. So you can see I'm only 7 seconds ahead now instead of 11 seconds. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. I normally get that easily first time, but ended up missing it there. 5 is quite easy to get, so next run I do, I'll definitely be going for it. 1-3 as well. I mean, in my PB run, like, all of these levels could be optimized. So I'll go for a spin jump this time. It gave me slightly more height, but I ended up actually jumping off the tree a bit early, and not collecting the star. So that probably lost me about 2 or 3 seconds. But again, these little mistakes in like a 2.5 hour run, they don't really make a big difference for now. It's more like when I start optimizing it and removing the deaths, then I'll be trying to make sure I don't make these little errors. But for now, I'm just gonna try to. I'm just trying to do it as fast as possible. So yeah, this section, just getting the coins is quite easy. Yeah, the spin jump goes the highest. So you'll see in the histograph fights, I always go for spin jump because it's the only jump which can reach him. So here, I'm making a few mistakes here. I normally run this level in individual levels with either Luigi or Toad, so that you can get a bit more speed before the jumps, and I seem to be able to make the jumps easier. So this wasn't like that good a level, so I think again, there's still probably about 5-10 seconds to gain over the course of this level. So I mean, even after this, I'm gonna be probably, well, we'll see what the split says after this, but yeah, I mean, I was 11 seconds up on my previous best, but oh, as for the 1-2 warp pipe, I don't even think you can reach it in Mario Percent, so that's why I don't go for it. If you could, I think it would be allowed. Even so, but I don't think you can. And even if you could, I don't think you can make up the amount of stars you lose, because, like, as you'll see later on in the run, there's not many backup stars I can turn to. Like, if I miss a star, then I'm pretty screwed. And that actually did cost me a bit in this run. But until now, no deaths. Being World 1's quite trivial. I do the double long jump to make Luigi Master happy, because I know he keeps moaning at me when I don't do it. So I did get that saucy 0.1 second time save there. But yeah. Now, going on with this level, I actually thought the best you could end on was a 298 on this level. Sorry, a 297 for a 103 time. In terms of my individual level, I can do it in 100 seconds. However, like, collecting the stars just slow you down by a bit. But in the run before this, I was able to get a 102 for the first time, which is the fastest time I've ever seen anyone collect all 3 stars. Well, I mean, not many people run this level because they do any percent, but yeah, I was trying to go for that again, because this level's quite easy, so you may as well go for the 1 second time save. There's not too much of a risk. And again, I mean, I saw a few runners say they have some trouble getting this star, but I just jump right at the edge of the ramp, and I get it each time. So, yeah, you can see entering the pipe. We're gonna enter again on a 305, like I did in the previous one about 20 minutes before this. And yeah, sure enough, it's gonna be a 102. And I mean, even though it was a 102, it wasn't actually purple, I don't think. Actually, it was purple this time, actually gaining 4 seconds on my 2 hour 29 minute run. And I think that mostly comes down to the fact as well, I was a lot more disciplined this run than the previous PB. Like, although it's only minor, if you basically reselect the character every time you go into a level, it saves 1 or 2 seconds, and I pretty much did that without fail in this run, compared to with other runs, which I forget it quite often. So, yeah, again, just, well, yeah, just a lot more disciplined in general. But ending into 1- Captain Toad now. Again, I can't, well, even so, yeah, I can't really speedrun it like I do in the individual level because of the cycle. So I have to go for my 30 route, which is probably one of the slower routes, but it's the only one which really makes this cycle. I mean, normally I would just wait for the cutscene to be in the right moment, but you can't really do that when you're doing a full game run because you're losing in-game time. And you can see here, we're going to get a 32 in-game time. And it won't be enough for purple, but we're still going to get a nice blue split. So we're still gaining on our previous best. We're now 17 seconds up, going into 1- Castle. So yeah, yeah, sorry if it's confusing you, Parasep. I did this earlier. Oh, is there any way to change the game language in CMU? That's a good question. I'm not sure. There probably is a way, but until I start getting close to the world records, like little time saves like that, I'm not too worried about. I think Adrylek used Spanish on his run, so that might have saved him a few seconds. But for now, like until I get like a sub 215, it's just about eliminating deaths really, because they're the main way you lose time. Yeah, it saves like 2 seconds over the whole run, and to be honest, I'll prefer to be reading English over the course of the run than Spanish. Like, even so I know each of the levels now. To me, it just makes more sense. And I mean, again, I'm able to collect this star without taking damage, which is much better than previous runs. So I can basically I actually tried to save a cycle here, but I was just a tiny bit too late. Which is a shame, because that might have saved about 2 or 3 seconds. But still, a very solid level so far. But yeah. And, I mean, after yesterday's run, which luckily only Jordan saw him, so it was a bit of a nightmare. I had a really hard time on 7- Castle with this fight. So I decided to finally just use the touchscreen instead of rolling into it. So, I'm not normally too accurate with it, but if you basically swipe from, as long as you swipe in the right place, you should be able to hit him each time. And it's a lot easier than rolling into it. It saves a bit of time as well, once you get it consistently. So yeah, again, so far landing 2 out of 2 throws, which is quite rare. I wasn't able to get 3 for 3, but still probably saving a bit of time over rolling. But yeah, I mean, even after this really good world run, like there's still about another 10-15 seconds to save, I'd say. Like it's not perfect, but again, it just I sort of speedrun it properly this time instead of just, you know, trying to complete the levels. And just like that, I'm gonna be over 20 seconds up after World 1, which is definitely a big improvement. So yeah, here we go. About to end World 1, and I mean that was quite a good World 1. I did say in my previous runs I thought I could gain about 30 seconds on it, and sure enough, as we wait for the split, we're going to basically enter the next world on a sub 13-minute run, and we're 26 seconds up after World 1. And I think we could still gain another 15 seconds in this world, but that's for another time. But I was definitely quite happy with this run so far. Going into 2-1. So yeah, you can see 4 purple splits already. So my summer best's already nearly a sub 2 hour 14 minutes. Crouch jumps in Mario Percent. I mean, you probably could, but I'm not sure where that would save time at the moment. Like, once I start optimizing this category properly, I'll definitely think about it. It might save time in 5-4, to be honest. But when you collect stars, like, they sort of get in the way. And you can see I actually have a lot of trouble with the pipe here, which is quite ironic. I normally enter that first time, but that probably lost me about 5 seconds or so. But again, it's really nothing compared to basically dying, which loses at least 30 seconds. But yeah. But I mean, on the topic of stuff like changing game language and stuff, I mean, the time it saves is trivial over something like, you know, save skips, which is what they've done recently. And I mean, I don't know. I personally think it should be down to gameplay alone. But on a category like this, it comes down to stamina. It comes down to like not dying. Like, I mean, you could probably still get better runs than what I'm doing, just by like taking it casually and not dying. But for me, I don't really see a point of that. It's not really a speed run. But for now, we haven't got any deaths, and we're yeah. The Mega Mushroom is allowed, but I mean, there's no Mega Mushrooms before World 9, Luigi Master. Like, 1-1 maybe, but like, it wouldn't save any time. I don't really know if there's any other Mega Mushrooms. So yeah, 2-1 we collect the last 2 stars here, because the first star isn't accessible without Katsu. And that's going to be quite a recurring theme here. Like, whilst I do get some choice over the stars I go for, most of the stars, like, I go for are the ones which you can actually get without Katsu. Because a lot of them do require an item of some sort. And, we're going to lose a bit of time because of the fiasco at the entry pipe into World 2. But, again, we're still 24 seconds up. And, my 2:29 had a very, very solid, World 2. So I wasn't expecting to gain a lot of time on this run. Compared to my World 2 of my 2:29. I was just hoping to sort of keep level with it, to basically make sure I was still about 30 seconds up going into World 3, because that's where it started to fall apart in my 2:29. I think my first death was in 3-4, and then after that, yeah, I mean, I think I had a bad histocrat, a bad 5-1 and stuff, so there's definitely a lot of time to save. And as we enter 2-3, a few of my runs have actually had some deaths here, so I was a bit reticent going into this. I mean, it's one of my favorite levels to speedrun as an individual level, but it definitely gets quite scary when you're damaged. Like here, for example, coming up, you almost always get damaged here. Like, there's no way to like get past these 2 plants fast without getting damaged. But I mean, I could afford to take damage there, and then I can basically recoup it at the checkpoint. Oh, do you mean normal mushrooms? Yeah, normal mushrooms are fine. I mean, they're not items, in my opinion. And, I mean, I will double check with Yandima, but I'm not really submitting this to speedruns live anyway, so not that it matters. But I'm pretty sure they are allowed. I mean, a slightly slow pickup there on the second star. But, I mean, all things considered, I mean, quite nice. But, I mean, I always like to, not be small entering the section with the pink blobs, because I like to just damage boost my way through them instead of having to rob them out with the touchscreen. That would be too much hassle, Jordan, in my opinion. I completely muck up the flagpole ending. No, I don't think you can separate it into languages. Like, maybe you could ask him to separate the save glitch into another category, but even that's pushing it. I think they should all be in one category personally. Even so, I can't have access to it. So yeah, we're still over 20 seconds up going into 2-4. We lost a bit of time because, well, I think we were gonna have a purple sector, but we sort of missed the flagpole there, which lost us about 3 seconds, which is a rookie error. But yeah, I mean, those mistakes are really trivial compared to dying, so we're still a long way ahead as we jump into the water. Another rookie mistake. And yeah, this was just quite a slow start to the level, to be honest. But this is one of the easiest levels in terms of, like, there's not many places you can get hit. So we're able to easily make it to the checkpoint. And we only collect 1 star from here. We only collect the last star, because the last star is pretty much, only takes about 1 extra second to collect. So if anything, I could probably speedrun this like a proper individual level. But Mario is just a bit slow. And I mean, ironically, my actual individual level of this would have already finished the level by now. I think I did it in 39, but this is going to be a 49 by the looks of things. Actually, no, 51, so quite slow. And yeah, we barely gain any time, but we're now 23 seconds ahead. So yeah, we're keeping level with our 229, which is basically what I wanted, because the 229 had a very good World 2 here. So we now enter 2-Mystery House, and I had a bit of a nightmare here yesterday, on my first run back in the category for about 2 weeks. And I was hoping to sort of actually get a good one this time, because I actually dropped a star yesterday here and lost 14 seconds, which is like the ultimate nightmare situation. Because if you miss a star in a level, then it really does bite you. It's almost like, in my opinion, missing a star is equivalent to 1 death, because you need to then go for a star somewhere else, which will lose time. So that's really much the aim, to avoid missing a star and avoid missing deaths, really. And then sooner or later I'll start speedrunning it. Quite a bad section here. I actually take damage as well, which is quite scary, because going into the last 2 sections, like you don't really like to be in damage form, because these cork doors can hit you quite easily, and the fire bros also are quite, well, they're quite annoying as well. And I think I died here yesterday at the fire bro section, so just try to avoid dying this time. And we nearly die here again, but just tidying it up, getting the 5th star. And it's not going to be a purple sector, but again, we're gaining time on the 229. We're back to being 24 seconds ahead. So, very consistent so far this world. We've pretty much been equal with every single split from the 2:29. And there's definitely still more time to gain here. But for now, it was quite good. So entering 2-A. So again, just going for 7 seconds here, because I know it's possible with Mario, because I did it on another run. So executing that really well, but it's not going to be the 7, it's going to be a 9, because I ended up missing the star. But still, again, barely losing any time on that level. So we're still 23 seconds up. And yeah, entering 2-5. And I think yesterday as well, I dropped another star here, which sent me into panic mode, because towards the end of yesterday's run, I was actually 2 stars behind what I needed to be, so I had to go and do 2 backup levels. But yeah, the run's pretty good so far. To be honest, so was my 2-hour 29. Like, it was really clean up until 3-4. But of course, just with better movement and a bit more confidence, I was able to still eke out 23 seconds at this point. But I knew I could gain a bit of time in 2-5. But I mean, I decided to sacrifice a bit of time here just to make sure I got my clones in the right position. So I don't well, this star is very important, because I can't afford to miss it. And we actually end up missing it a bit, so we have to double back, which is going to slow us down a bit. But yeah, leaving the clone behind now. But again, at least we're getting 2 stars on this level. And we're going to finish it quite cleanly as well. So far we haven't dropped any stars, and we're we're over 20 seconds ahead, which is like the ideal scenario. Again, not purple, but we're gaining time. We're back to being 24 seconds ahead. And I probably should put my best possible time here, but you can see my summer best is slowly creeping down. We haven't actually got any purple splits in World 2, because I've sort of optimized it quite a lot, so it's quite hard to get purple splits here. But yeah, we're entering 2-Castle now. Still 24 seconds up. And like, this is the first auto scroll of the run. So yeah. But I mean, what I didn't do yesterday is I didn't pick up a backup mushroom here, which is probably going to come in useful later on. So I made sure to do it this run. So yeah. So just making sure to get it, because it's in like a secret item box up there. So yeah, making sure to get it that time. Picking up a cannon as well, because it just acts as basically an extra line of defense, just in case you do get hit. Yeah, they do go along with the music. It's quite nice. So yeah, here's just making sure I don't get hit, because after this point, if I get hit, I basically can't get one of the stars at the end, which as I said, it's basically equivalent to a death, because I'm going to need to recoup it later on. So getting the first star, I'm making sure not to lose the cannon box, really. Yeah, once again. I mean, this level's quite easy as long as you don't take damage. Because, like, you can't really gain or lose any time. Which is, I suppose, is quite good when you're doing a full game run. But you still need to keep focused because, like, if I was to lose my cannon box, it would pretty much be, well, it would definitely lose me a lot of time. So, I make sure to clear these enemies to make sure not to lose the cannon box. And I need the cannon box for the 3rd star, which is behind here. And we enter the pipe on a 263 again, which is quite good. Which is probably the best I think I can enter it. I might be able to enter it on a 264, but pretty much a perfect entry at that point. And I had a really good split here on yesterday's 231. But so yeah, just trying to match it really, but getting quite a slow second kill on Boom Boom. And yeah, I mean it was a good while too on this run, to be honest. Like, in order to keep level with my personal best, which had a pretty much perfect world 2 itself. So, I mean, this is starting to look more like a speed run, like with these small incremental gains. Because I think the first 3 or 4 attempts, like my splits were just going everywhere. Like I was gaining like a minute here, a minute there. And it definitely still happens later on in the 1, because like I haven't managed to perfect each level yet. And I'm still dying some places, but right, as for now, no deaths in the first 2 worlds, and we're still 25 seconds ahead going into 3-1. And yeah, I mean, so far our biggest loss has been a 4-second loss in 1-A, which is it's pretty much nothing. So yeah, I mean, eventually the splits will probably get quite refined, a bit like the any % runs. But I mean, as it's only my 5th like full game attempt, I'm not worried that they're still going all over the place. I'm more focusing on my summer bests, because that's where I will be eventually. Like once I get consistent, that's where I'll tend to. So right now it still stands at a 2:14.11, but there's a lot of time to gain on it towards the end of the run. Like the first 2 worlds are quite trivial. So yeah. Yeah, I will look into the 1-2 warp, but I need to clarify with Yandima if it's even allowed. Because I think they did maybe make a sub-clause in the Mario % rules that maybe banned it. I might have seen it somewhere. So I remember Adrylek mentioning something like that on his world record video. But I'll definitely look into it. I don't think you can with Mario though. You probably could with Rosalina. So in this, I mean, up until now I've had some really good 3-1s, but actually, what I normally do is throw the snowball behind these guys. But I actually missed it today, so I'm going to have to go in the hard way and make sure I don't lose my propeller. And this is basically bleeding about 10 seconds or so. So this is the first real mistake of the run. I'm going to try to use the ice glitch to make up for it, but I actually fail a bit there. But we're still able to bridge the gap with the ice glitch, which is basically when you rapidly crouch to gain a lot of speed. And we're going to try to do it here as well, but we've already lost about 10 seconds or so, which is quite annoying. Because it was going really well up until then, but no, I just missed the snowball throw at the star, which is quite hard. But I mean, I've been getting it quite a lot recently, so I thought I'd be able to make it happen again. And a very slow stair sequence as well, but luckily we avoid fireworks at least. But yeah, we're only 10 seconds up now, because that's our first real loss. But again, it's not a death, so we only lose 15 seconds, which is still quite a lot, but it's not run ending yet. And there's definitely lots of minutes to gain on the 2:29 still. Like the world record's 17 minutes ahead of it, and my summer best is 15 minutes ahead of it. So yeah, entering 3-3. This is a place I can gain a lot of time on, because the second star's notoriously been quite hard for me to get, and the other 2 stars are quite trivial. So I was actually hopeful going into this, especially as I've been practicing it in an IL. So yeah. I was hoping to turn the 10 seconds into 25 seconds again. So entering the painting, I felt audacious, and I was actually going to go for the strat where you hold down the room and you go for the spin jump. And I let go a bit too soon. And yeah, I'll just let this speak for itself. I wasn't able to get the star. And that is a massive blow. I lost 2 seconds there, and I didn't get the star, which is equivalent to a death. So at this point, I probably could have just restarted the level, and I wouldn't have been any worse off. Because I get the second star first time, so I thought that might make up for it. But again, losing a star is just tragic in this category, because there's not many places I can make up for. And yeah, just insult to injury, just mucking around here. And we didn't even pick up the checkpoint, so far it's been a terrible level. But as long as you pick up the 3rd star, you should be able to recoup an extra star in 3-7 to what I normally do. Because I've decided to play 3-7 safe recently, but again, just taking damage for no reason when I could have avoided it. And as a result, I'm going to use my backup stream here. I was planning on using it in 3-7, but I just didn't want to lose the run here, because if I die now, it would lose at least a minute or so. So getting the 3rd star, we actually accidentally opened the door. So again, losing more time, and so it's just been the worst level so far. And yeah, taking the chair up to the 3rd star, making sure I get it, and the momentum throws me over the edge, and I go back to see if the settee is there, and it's not. And I can't get back up there, and I take even more damage. So, wow. Like, yeah, just a terrible level, really. I mean, I'm going to gain time. It's not going to be a purple for a start, which it should have been, considering I only collected 1 of the 3 stars. I gained 9 seconds over the 2-hour, 29-minute run, but I dropped 2 stars, which is very diabolical in this category. Because it basically means I'm going to have to go for a backup star in 3-4, a backup star in 3-7, and I wanted to avoid going for the star in 7-7, but at this point, I'm thinking that I need to actually go for that as well, because that's what I did on my 2-hour, 29-minute run, I think. So, right now, I mean, it was going so well, and now I'm just 2 stars behind, which is not good at all. So, I mean, I'm 19 seconds up, but at this point, in my head, I'm just behind now, because I've lost 2 stars. And the 3rd star, I shouldn't have lost. I mean, the 1st star, I was going for a slightly faster strategy, and it didn't pay off. But the 3rd star, I just got thrown off over the edge with the extra momentum. So, it's just about composing now and just not throwing the run away. So at this point, I decided that I was going to go for the extra star in 3-4 like yesterday. Because I knew that my 2:29 run also, well, had a death in 3-4. So I knew I wouldn't lose much time by going for the extra star, which loses about 15-20 seconds. So I knew I'd pretty much only be losing about 5 seconds over the run. And that would be a good way of recouping one of the lost stars. And of course, the other one I thought I'd just recoup in 3-7. But, I mean, even after basically dropping 2 stars, I still knew this run was really good. I mean, I hadn't had any deaths so far. Even so, I may as well have just died after losing 2 stars in Shifty Boo Mansion. And, yeah, going into this, well, I mean, entering World 4, I knew that there was lots of possibilities to gain. I think 4-Mystery House, I made a mistake in my 2:29. Histocrat, I made a lot of mistakes in the past. And 5-1, I think I lost 2 minutes in as well. So, as long as I just eliminated the deaths at this point, I just thought I could still be gaining quite a lot. So, entering 3-4 now. And we're still 20 seconds ahead. But that's going to slightly drop. I mean, at this point, if I had all my stars, I'm not actually that good at Captain Toad. 69 is a lot good in that level. But, yeah, going into this, I knew I was going to lose a bit of time, which is a shame because I know I can gain about 15-20 seconds on this split because if I don't die, and, again, trying to go for a mushroom, but I forgot it wasn't there. But as long as I don't die, I should only lose a bit of time. But the Captain Toad levels, I mean, the reason why I do quite a lot of them is because, like, it's the only sort of levels I can compete with you guys on, like the any % runners, because, like, nobody gets an advantage in that, in Captain Toad. So I sort of run it quite a lot. But I mean, King Boo is just on another level when it comes to Captain Toad runs. Like, I mean, but yeah. I mean, I'll tell you the routes for Captain Toad, because once you get the hang of it, it's alright. It's just about keeping run speed. So, getting a 31 there, which is going to lose me quite a bit of time. And even after getting a death in my 2 hour 29 minute run, I still lose 9 seconds here to the previous split. So, at this point, I'm only 12 seconds up, and I still have to gain another star. But yeah, King Boo, he completely dominates the Captain Toad's treasure tracker leaderboards. As well as Captain Toad on this game. Like, he's just on another level. I'm sure if he looked into my 28 route, which is a tied world record on 1-Captain Toad, I'm sure he could get a 27 with it. And I think Luigi Master's looking into getting a 27 as well. So yeah, going into 3-A, I actually get my first death of the run. So slightly later than my first death in my 229, but still annoying nonetheless. And we actually take more damage here. So I don't know, I wasn't normally taking damage here, so that was quite annoying. And a 10 seconds run, and we lost 7 seconds there because of the death. So we could have easily gained a bit more time, but yeah, at this point it's looking a bit precarious. Because I knew I was probably going to go red for a tiny bit. Because on 3-7, I was going to go for 3 stars instead of 2. Which is a lot slower than the YOLO strat I normally do. Which is basically doing a massive jump at the end of the level. Which looks really cool. And I would have liked to do it. But unfortunately, yeah. I wasn't really on pace this run. So yeah, 3-5. A very bad start. I normally can get there in 5. But it took me 7 that time. And again, mucking up the entry here. Normally I try to do a long jump on the Goomba, and I can skip this section, but again, losing 2 or 3 seconds. So not the best start to this level, and I was actually worried I might dip into red here, because I'm only 5 seconds ahead at this point. But again, I wasn't too worried because we still got over 2 hours of the run to go, and that's where the main bulk of the time is really to save. But yeah, I mean, 3-5 is another level I want to sort of speedrun as an IL in future. Because I want to upload World 3 speedruns again. Because I've improved most of them now. And I want to drop this to an 87 in order to poach another record of Luigi Master. Because me and him are tied at 88 at the moment. But I know 87 is possible. And we nearly fluff up the wall jumps, but we're able to get the cannon. That would have lost me a lot of time if I didn't do that. And we're going to blow up the wall, get a very nice entry to be honest. And we've got the cannon still, so we should be able to turn around and get the start. And I mean, the second half of this level, it's been quite a nice comeback. But yeah, 90-degree wall jumps are very annoying. I agree with you, Jordan. But I was able to clutch it out at that time and save it. But yeah, they are very annoying normally. There's only a few levels which you have to do 90-degree wall jumps on though. But yeah, quite a tidy end to the level, so I could still go, I could still improve over the 229. And as we end the level, trying to avoid fireworks, we fail because we ended in a 1. But amazingly, it was actually a purple split, which considering I could easily gain about 5-6 seconds on that, probably even more. Yeah, I was actually surprised it was purple. But we're back to being 9 seconds ahead. So we had a brilliant World 1, a really good World 2 to consolidate. But yeah, World 3 sort of gone to shreds at the moment. And it's all because of Shifty Boo Mansion, which, I mean, it's my favourite level when it comes to speedrunning it as an individual level. But I just seem to be cursed when it comes to full game runs on it. Which, I mean, I just don't understand really. So 3-7 now, and the amount of runs I've lost to this level, like, it's just unheard of. Like, so many times I've lost 2 minutes on this level. But on my 229, I had a very good run here. So I knew I was going to need something special, especially as I was going for 3 stars and not 2. But for me, it would be worth it because I'll be avoiding a death. I still found quite a nice skip I could do after the 3rd star, which saves a bit of time. So I thought it would only lose about 10 seconds or so over the big YOLO jump at the end. And if it gains an extra star and only loses 10 seconds, then to me that's worth it. Like, stars in this game are easily worth 10-20 seconds. Yeah, I did remember where the 3rd star was. I actually looked. I thought I knew where it would be after the run, but I checked just before the run. I didn't do any practice, but I just did a quick check before I started this run to see where it was. And sure enough, I was able to get it this time. Well, spoilers, but yeah, I was able to get it this time. So again, just getting 3 stars here. And that's what the world record did, to be honest. It got 3 stars here. And for a long time, I thought getting 3 stars was slower. But, I don't know. After doing this, I think I'm going to do it more often. Because it allows me to miss a star later on. And I don't know. I mean, before 2 weeks ago, I was perfect on all my star collects. I didn't drop a single star. But, I don't know, the last 2 runs, I've been quite poor. Like, I mean, missing the stars in 3-3. For a start. So we get the star here and nearly kill ourselves, but we're able to do a nice long jump to skip to the end of the level, and we missed the flagpole, but I mean, yeah, we actually avoided fireworks because of that, so I'm quite thankful. So we lose 15 seconds picking up the extra star, but I think it's worth it, to be honest. Yeah, I know, but that's why I go for the ultimate long jump, because it looks so crazy when you can skip half the level. And if you watch my IL, it is absolutely bonkers. So the reason why I didn't go for a long jump, as I explained, I was 2 stars behind at this point. After missing it in 3-3. So I knew I had to recoup stars. So I recouped 1. I recouped 1 in 3-4. And then in 3-7, I just wanted to play it safe because I was still ahead of pace. I'm getting an extra star there. So now I'm level with my star count from the 229 run. So I don't need to pick up any more stars. But I mean, it's still annoying that I dropped a star in 3-3. But at this point, I was still thinking I needed to go for the 7-7 star, which, as Jordan knows, is a very annoying star for me. And even the world records, Splits, tried to avoid it, but he ended up going for it actually and clutching it. But it's a star which nobody wants to do. And it's like near the end of the run. So it's like a run killer. But, so I was just trying to make sure I gained as many stars as possible until then. So this is another auto-scroller, in case you're wondering why I'm taking it so slow. You can't really gain much time. Apart from this pipe entry here. But I decided to play it safe again. Because, I mean, this bullet bill is probably going to hit me otherwise. But yeah, still, I mean, we're still only 6 seconds behind our 229 at this point. I was a bit disappointed because I had such a good World 1. I wanted to sort of keep the momentum going. But I've been practicing Histocrat, so I knew I could still gain a lot of time. Yeah, I knew as well there's so many mistakes in my 229 that I knew I could just clutch this out. So, I mean, the aim of this run was a sub 220, and I think... with all things considered, which is definitely possible after when you eliminate most of the deaths. But and I think so far I've only had 1 death, so it's been going quite well. Quite a swag box entry to end the world, and I've been nailing most of these stair slides as well. It only gains about a second or so, but yeah, when you get slope speed on this game, it's really broken. And I'm able to exploit that. So here we are now. To end World 3, and it will be a purple split. We're now only 1 second behind the 2-hour 29-minute run. So yeah. Yeah, sliding in this game is a bit janky. So yeah. Yeah, sorry, it seems like the stream's going a bit laggy. It's probably the internet again, but we'll keep it going. We'll keep it going for now. I'll probably upload the full run as just a raw file to YouTube as well, because it'll probably be better quality without this timeline underneath. Again, I wish I could get rid of it, but I don't know. Windows Movie was movie editor was playing up for some reason, so I had to use VLC, which I'm not used to using. So yeah, this is time for the run killer himself, Histocrat. So, yeah, going into this, I was quite worried because, I mean, with Luigi and Rosalina, this level is just a cakewalk. Like, it's so easy. But with Mario, this level is the hardest level in the run. And, yeah, I have to do it twice because you have to do it in 8-B as well as 3-B. So, I was quite worried, but I knew that it was a lot of time to gain here if I got it right. And, yeah, I knew I could easily gain a minute here. just by doing it right. Of course, my best IL is like a 58 seconds on this level. But, I mean, that's impossible to really do in Mario because Mario is just so slow. But we nailed the first jump, even after mucking around at the start. And we nailed the second jump as well. And I was like, wow, you can actually get this. Like, I was even thinking about damage boosting at this point. Because it's rare that I get 2 for 2. And I end up missing the first jump. But we nailed the second jump. And that, my friends, is the best histocrat you're going to see in a while. I was really happy. You could see me mucking around with the spin jumps. And that was a massive relief to me. Like, you know, I've had so many runs die there in the past. So just to nail it this time, I'm really happy with that. And it's a 70-second run. I have done it in 63 with Mario before. So there's still 7 seconds to gain on this level. I've done it with 60 with Luigi. So, yeah, you never know. I could gain a few more seconds there. But, of course, you have to stick with Mario for this category. But still, we gained a whole minute. And it is a purple split. So we're now a minute ahead of the 229. And just like that, we basically can put the whole of World 3 behind us. We're equal on star count. And, yeah, it's just going really well so far. So I was really happy at this point. And 4-1, we are actually big for once. We're not even small. So I can go for a more audacious strategy on 4-1 now. So, yeah, I mean, I knew I could get even more time here. But, yeah, I still was a bit worried about the star count at this point. And that was mostly down to 3-3. Like, I think, like, eliminating 3-3, this run was pretty much perfect up until this point. Like, I mean, Luigi will probably say I should have gone for the skip in 3-7, but I don't think I'm going to go for the skip anymore. It's too risky. Oh, no, it's definitely not possible that the Meowser skip. No. There's no way I could perform a Meowser skip. They need excess speed and they need Tanuki suit. No, you can't do it. No. It's just a write-off. We're quite lucky here. We actually were able to keep the star a bit longer than we thought. So we were able to eliminate some of the enemies. And a nice pipe entry here as well. Better than yesterday's. So yeah, I normally have some trouble with this star, but that is the best you're ever going to see that star done. That was perfect. So yeah. No, I mean, no, you can't do Meowser skip with anyone. Not even Rosalina. You need items. You can't get any speed. You need Tanuki suit as well. But yeah, collecting all 3 stars in 4-1. Yeah, just about collecting that. So yeah, I mean, I was level with my star count. Oh, with items. Yeah, you could do it with Toad. Yeah, because as long as you have Tanuki, like, you know, I mean, they do it with Luigi. We managed to save the run there with some 90-degree wall jumps, and otherwise I could have actually died there. And then ending the run 287. We avoid fireworks. You could probably do it with Mario and items as well, but just use Luigi if you're doing any percent. And we gained another 12 seconds there. Well, 13 seconds. So our summer bests is now a 2:13.41 after back-to-back-to-back purple splits. So the run was looking on the up now after a quite a shaky World 3. But yeah, I mean, it was looking much better. In 4-2 as well. I mean, I haven't had too many problems with this level in the past, but not the best start there. We probably lose about 4 seconds on entry. And yeah, we make another mistake there. But again, for now, mistakes aren't really... On a 2.5 hour run, like, mistakes aren't as costly as they would be on an individual level. And we nailed this star. I don't know how I've been having problem with it before. Like, I've been able to nail it the last 2 runs. Getting the checkpoint just in case I do die. And then getting the second star. I mean, I can't afford to lose any more stars now because I'm pretty much... Like, even this early in the run, there's only limited number of backup stars I actually have, which are actually viable. And at this point, I still thought I was 1 star behind. Even so, in reality, I wasn't. So that did affect my decisions a bit later on in the run. But I really wanted to avoid having to go back to like 4-B and 5-B at the end of the run. And I also wanted to avoid having to go for the star in 7-7. But yeah, nice ending there. Again, avoiding fireworks. And another good time. It's going to be another purple. So 4 purples in a row. And just like that, the run is looking very good. Again, it's still not a speed. Still wouldn't call this a speed run as of yet. I mean, it's definitely. I'm definitely beginning to run it faster. But in each level, there's a lot of mistakes still. I think once I get a sub 2 out of 15, I'm actually quite interested in making a human TAS of this category to sort of elevate it from meme status. I think if I can get a human TAS which does this in under 2 hours, I think people will start considering this category a bit more. And what basically a human TAS will be is just me basically stitching my individual levels together and then stitching all the cutscenes and all of the other jargon. And yeah, once again, a gold split. So, sorry, a purple split. So 5 purple splits in a row. So that's unprecedented. 5 runs in. Well, but yeah. I was really happy at this point. And there's still a bit more time to gain. Yeah, 4-4 now. Another chance to save a bit of time. It's actually my most hated level in the game. Because Luigi Masters beat me by 13 seconds on this level. Which is just embarrassing. Like, my best time is 71 with Rosalina. And I just can't will myself to use Peach on this level. And I think Luigi Masters is able to get 58 with Peach in this level. So, I'm a long way off him. But, again, just going for the start. This star's quite easy to get. But, just making sure to clear out the enemies. I probably lost a bit of time. But, hi Sparsh, nice of you to join us. So yeah, so far on this run, I had a really good World 1, which was 26 seconds ahead. A really good World 2, which basically matched my 229, which had a really good World 2 itself. World 3 was a bit meh. I ended up going 1 second behind. But so far I had 5 back-to-back purples, and now I'm back to being 1 minute 19 seconds ahead. So yeah, this star as well has normally been quite easy for me. So you just take out this spring, put him in the right position, and you go for the star. But I missed the first jump. The spring's in the wrong position because I missed the second jump. I thought I had enough height and I miss it. And just like that, I may as well have just had another death because we missed another star. And that was really annoying, really. Because I lost 2 stars in 3-3, which put me in a massive setback. And all the hard work I did in 3-4 and 3-7 to be level with my star count on my previous run, it's just been put to waste because of that. So yeah, very bad mistake that. I mean, I wouldn't have lost any. Well, I may as well have just not gone for the star at all. But yeah, missing the star, and I wasn't happy. Very bad box entry, and to add insult to injury, I don't even think it was purple. Yeah, it wasn't even purple. I lost 3 seconds and I lost the star. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, I'm either going to have to go for the 7-7 star or the 4-B star, or both at this point. I actually thought I might need both because I thought I might be 1 or 2 stars behind, especially after the horrendous 3-3. But yeah, I mean, in future, I'm just going to play 3-3 safe because there's no reason for me to, like, you know, go ballsy on these stars trying to gain 1 or 2 seconds if I'm just going to miss them. And that star as well, very easy, but I missed it again. But as long as I nail this mystery house, I get 10 more stars here. So, and I knew I could gain a lot of time from my previous run. So the first star, pretty much as good as you can get. Second star again, quite easy, but we end up making a slight error there. Missed the star, and that lost about 2 seconds. This is I mean, this level is quite easy in general. It's just basically long jumping. I seem to have a few problems here on my my second and third runs, but yeah, just as long as you long jump and strafe them, like, you can't get hit. And yeah, star number 5. I mean, this is the only opportunity in the whole run I can gain 10 stars. So this is just a golden place to do it. Yeah, it's stolen from Adrylek. Yeah, sorry about that, Splash. I had to restart the stream because my internet was glitching out, and then Windows Media Player was glitching out. Yeah, it's not spliced though, don't worry. It's an actual run. You can see by the split splash. But yeah, here we go, star number 9. And if it was spliced, I would have made sure it was a world record. This wasn't a world record. Yeah, all 10 stars. And it's only a blue split that time, it wasn't quite purple. But we still gained 40 seconds and we're nearly 2 minutes up. But unfortunately, we won't be able to keep that because I decided at this point I was going to have to go for 4-B. To make up time. Well, to make up for the lost star. And from yesterday's experience, 4-B probably loses you about 45 seconds to a minute. Because of all the, like, things you have to endure. Yeah, 4-5 now. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, this star here, mucking up the touchscreen a bit. Probably could have gained some time there. But, I mean, I sort of developed a new way to do 4-5 after, I think, yesterday's run. So, I was still confident I can go for a purple. Like, even with this absolute terrible gameplay. And no sposh, I'm not going to be stooping down to Adryluigi's level and ripping off people's content. Yeah, going up the ramp now. Again, just trying to gain a cycle here, because this level's all about cycles. So, gaining that cycle there, and if I lost it, then, yeah. Yeah, I know. If I spliced the run, I would have to turn on the webcam and eat pizza in front of you. And also show a heart rate monitor of me, like, you know, getting really excited when I'm 7 minutes ahead of world record. But yeah, another good level. Amazingly, it's purple by like 12 seconds. I don't know how it wasn't that good. And our summer best is down to 2:13.32. And it can only get lower from here. Oh gosh, my chat's turned into a meme. A meme of the meme category. Right, 4-Castle now, but I did decide that I was gonna go for 4-B to make up for the lost time. I mean, it pained me to do this because I knew I'd be bleeding time, but I knew I sort of had to do it after the drop stars in 3-3 and 4-4. And I mean, that's the one thing which was good about my 229. I didn't drop a single star. So even so far my deaths have been far less. Like the fact like, you know, the fact that I've dropped stars is just unacceptable in my opinion. Like 3 stars dropped so far, but we've made up for it here. Even so, I had to take a big time loss. We still should be ahead after 4-Castle, but it was still quite annoying. And yeah, I mean, hopefully we could. Well, hopefully I was still on pace to finish World 4 in under 1 hour, which would have been quite a morale boost. Yeah, I gotta work on the stars, Jordan. Once I get consistent, like I was in my 229, like even at this point, I could have cut another 2 minutes off this run. Because 3-4, I could have saved 30 seconds on. You know, 3-3, I could have done properly, got 3 stars. 3-7, I could have gone for Luigi's like amazing XD skip. And yeah, this is dribbling over the P switches there. Like, still, I mean, it's still looking like a casual play for Rita at this point. Like, I have started to incorporate some, like, speedrun strats into it, but it's still quite primitive. Just trying to avoid dying. Especially towards the end of the run, because that's when, like, the deaths can start piling on. And at this point, I just can't drop any more stars. Otherwise, I'm in very big trouble. So yeah, making sure to get all 3 stars here. I'm nice and big as well. I'm nice and big as well going into the fight, so I don't need to pick up a backup stream. So I was hoping to get a first phase brawler fight because yeah, why not? But I ended up having the worst start of a brawler you can possibly get. Like, I've never had it that bad before. I honestly, like, not even in like individual levels. I honestly don't know what happened there. I took damage and I got in trouble. Well, I lost all 3 of the mini brawlers. So that was like the worst thing which could happen. And yeah, unfortunately we're gonna lose a bit of time as a result. Yeah, he wasn't the best brawler. But once you get good at brawler, like, you can sort of get the first phase like quite a lot of the time. So now I have to purposely whiff the ending, because I can't afford to get a 10-second ending, because that'll get fireworks. So that's the reason why I missed these stair slides, not because I'm bad or anything. And yeah, sure enough, 11-second ending, and we avoid fireworks. But as a result, we're going to lose nearly a minute because of a bad brawler and picking up the extra star in 4-B. So that's really why I need to pick up every star. Like, you know, at most, picking up a star loses 10 seconds. But if you don't do it, like, backup stars take at least 30-40 seconds to pick up. Especially in 4-B. And yeah, it might have been better just to do it in 6-2 or another level like that. Maybe 6-1, but yeah, there is a super leaf in 3D World. But believe it or not, Splash, it sort of voids the no power up category. Amazingly, I don't know how. Like, for me, it's not an item. I mean, you know, it only combines a star and a Tanuki together. But yeah, the super leaf's a bit broken. Yeah, God mode speedrun. I could probably you know, hack Senior in order to give me that. Give me super speed. Right, 5- oh no, not 5-1, 5- Captain Toad. So I mean, Luigi Master said I'm really good at Captain Toads. I'm actually not. He's better than me. Like, I think he's got better times on every single Captain Toad than me. So I don't know, but I'm decent at them. But unfortunately, I didn't take down my run button like Luigi Master told me to, so I have to walk through this level in order to use the touchscreen. Wait, people actually use the super leaf in any percent? Oh, really? Do you mean Tanuki suit? Because it's different from the or do you mean the golden one? Because I don't think the golden one's used at all, isn't it? Right, so another good split there. Another purple. So we're back to being 1 minute 17 ahead. But I was a bit disappointed that I had to sacrifice a minute in 4-B. But we're still ahead of the run. And we're basically coming up to what could be the biggest time save on the planet. Oh, you just mean a Tanuki. I think Sparsh is talking about the super leaf. Which is the golden Tanuki leaf, I think. Right. So I'm trying to get an item here. I forgot which one it was in, so I wasted about 5 seconds. Oh, yeah, we mean the cheat leaf. Yeah. So here I just didn't want to die, because if you die on this level, it costs you a lot of time. And sure enough, I take damage here. I was really worried, because and I missed the start, so it's already looking quite bad. But I knew I could still gain a minute or two if I just avoided deaths. I jump up the wrong tree. I mean, so far it's been a shambolic start, but I lost at least 2 minutes in well, in my 229. I mean, I tried to get a mushroom, but it ends up trying to give me another item. And I was searching these for items. It only gives me a Goomba mask, but I suppose that can double as a an item, because it does give you a bit more HP. But yeah, very, very bad level so far. But we haven't died. And we normally do die in this point, which is where the Buzzy Beetles are. Because, yeah, I mean, it's quite hard to get them all in one go without taking damage. But sure enough, we're able to get the 3rd star. Get the final key coin. And we just need to get one more star here. Because I think only one run, I didn't get all 3 stars. But we sort of have to go for all 3 here. And then sure enough, I was actually interested to see if the Koopas recognize me, but they can actually see through the Goomba mask, so maybe they're not as dumb as we thought. But yeah, just tidying up the last bit, getting the star. And I mean, at this point I was quite happy because I'd avoid dying on this level, which is basically the main chore. So I knew I was going to get a big time save over my previous run. And there's still like a lot of other places to save time over the 229. Like, I mean, Jordan knows yesterday that when I was doing the I think they recognized me because it's a Goomba mask and not a I don't know. I think it only works on Goombas, so it's quite a useless item. Yeah, they probably are. I mean, as Jordan remembers from yesterday's run though, like even though it was a terrible run, like we're still able to pretty much be neck and neck with the 229 going into the final Meowser fight. So there's definitely other places to save time in this run. And I mean, at this point we could have been over 4 minutes up, but yeah, we've made a few mistakes over the course of the run so far, and we get fireworks. So yeah. But yeah, everything seems to see you with the Goomba mask because the charging trucks do it as well. Right, so heading on to 5-3 now. And I wanted to speedrun 5-3 to be honest. I was getting a bit bored at this point, and I just wanted to just go for it. It's a very short level, so I wanted to do it in sub 20. And yeah, it's quite easy as well. So yeah, just opening it up. I mean, I mean, what's good about this category is that you well, you can actually unlock that level because in any percent it's basically stuck behind a star wall. So picking up the first star, very good turn, true speed running there. We go for the spin, we go for the jump, and we missed the wall jump. I don't know, like I never missed that wall jump, and I was a bit phased at this point. Like that's just like the most pointless like 10-second loss I've ever had. Take damage, then miss the wall jump again. You go for it again, we miss it again, and at this point I was getting really annoyed. It was turning into like a 3-3. We finally get it, and yeah, I was a bit embarrassed after this because I basically turned a 20-second run into a death and a 31-second run. So sure enough, we lose 20 seconds on a level which is 20 seconds long. So by far the worst level in history. Right, so 5-A now. Another place to gain time. I still don't think I've got a proper like 7 seconds fight here as of yet, and I still have to wait as I get an 11-second fight, but it's still enough for purple apparently, so we gain 10 of the 20 seconds back, so you know, not too bad. So we're now heading on to 5-4, and this is probably the one part of the run I could probably use crouch jumps on once I start getting close to the world record. But even then, I'm not sure. Like, I'd prefer to beat Adrylek without crouch jumps, and then, you know, once I do that, then incorporate them. But yeah, the first part of this level, there's no stars to collect, so I can pretty much speedrun it. But even that I actively fail in doing, as I miss the jump. What, you like 5-4? You should have a go at trying to beat my 77 though. I think 76 is possible, but my 77 was pretty cooked. And sure enough, we are 7 seconds behind the 77 at this point, which is incredibly bad. But whatever. It's a full game run. I suppose I can take it easy. We click on the wrong rabbit, but we're able to get the rabbit the second time round. Get the start. And yeah, just sort of go on our merry way. Yeah, see you later, Sparsh. Thanks for tuning in. I waited a bit longer there just to get the star. It's just a bit safer when you do the rest of the level. Oh, and yeah, Sparsh, before you go, just tell the rest of the people on the Smash chat that I'm live if you want. I'm not sure if they know. I think Dennis tuned in a bit earlier, but apart from that, so we actually end up missing some of the coins, which scared me a bit. But we just about get the star. Oh, I think you have 49 on 11-5. Which is a different level to this. It's a shorter version. So yeah, we only used a second there, but yeah, it still wasn't ideal. So 5-5 now. I know I can gain time on this level. I think Jordan knows from yesterday that I had a clutch save on 5-5. In which I basically avoid a death whilst I was in a long jump state. So I wanted to avoid being in that situation this time. Because there's a really bad perspective moment in this level. Where, like, you know, you can just bonk off one of the plants by accident. So yeah, trying to get as 5-5, which is as good. We actually get a really bad start, but it's fine because I can roll into the bomb. Saves a tiny bit of time overthrowing it. And yeah, just lining myself up, getting the checkpoint. Getting the rabbit. First time. And then I'm, yeah, just going to the end of the level. I was thinking of maybe getting an extra star here to make up for 5-4, but 4-4. But at this point, I thought I was probably level after 4-B. So yeah, sure enough, ending up 5-5. And this is looking like a purple split, even after all the mistakes. And we should just about be able to avoid fireworks. And yeah, sure enough, we do. And it's not gold, but it's a massive 1 minute improvement over the 229. So now over 3 minutes ahead. So at this point is like really ideal. I was actually thinking sub 220 could be possible. Maybe even sub 215, but nah. I mean, after the 4-B, I sort of knew that both those targets would be hard. But I knew there was still a lot of time to gain on the run. And it was going really well so far, despite 3-3 and 4-4, which would have been the two biggest blemishes. But only like 2 or 3 deaths, 14 lives, which is a lot more lives than I normally have at this point. We made a few mistakes in this level though. That being the first. Now, I normally am able to get the first start by throwing the spring at the start, which saves time. So I went for that again today, and I missed it. So now I was really worried. I didn't know if I could actually get it without the spring. And I had to waste a lot of time, but no, I was actually able to get it, fortunately. And avoid getting hit. So that was quite a nice save. But again, very sad that I wasn't able to get it with the spring first time. Because that would have gained even more time. Getting the checkpoint, banging our head against the wall. But yeah, the last 2 stars are relatively easy on this level. I mean, do you think I should... I mean, I might live stream. I'm not going to run this category for a few days now because this was such a good run. But, when I do you want me to live stream it or do you want me to do these post-coms like this? Like, what do you prefer? I know it's probably more hype when I'm doing it live. But, like, I felt I could get a much better time when I pre-recorded this and then played it back. So it's up to you. So 309 there. 309 ahead of the 5-7. Well, so where I was on the 229. Probably could have gone purple if I didn't make a few mistakes at that level. So 5-Castle, another level which is notoriously claimed a lot of my lives, but not on my 229. I don't think. I think it was my 232. I lost like 2.5 minutes here. Yeah. I mean, you can decide by the end which you prefer. I'll probably go back to live streams, but at least I can guarantee you a good time, and like I know how long it's gonna take. And also, yeah, I can just commentate as soon as I see you guys message. I mean, I'm a bit annoyed that I've got this the timer at the bottom though. I think that ruins it a bit, so I will go back to live. I probably will go back to live next time actually. But yeah, we're gonna go for a skip here to make up for the fact that I fell down a bit. But yeah, I've been able to navigate this quite well recently. Like, just not going for any unnecessary skips, otherwise you take damage. It doesn't really matter if you take damage going into Cthulhu, because he's such an easy boss fight. But you can see that no damage so far, so I'm able to basically balls my way through this a bit more by damage boosting. So I can basically extend the damage boost through the whole section. Probably saves a second or so. So yeah, just hoping for another purple really entering World 6. And I mean, I always see like, you know, I think 5-7 is probably the halfway point of each run, in my opinion. Maybe between 5-5 and 5-7. So at this point, I'm well over halfway. Provided I can actually, you know, clutch out the last 3 worlds, which is easier said than done. But yeah, Cthulhu's a cakewalk. We take him out quite easily. We know his pattern off by heart. And sure enough, we can avoid fireworks again with the ending. Even if it is an 11-second ending. But yeah, at this point, ending World 5. And, yeah. Yeah, it was quite a lame boss fight in the end of Cthulhu, in my opinion. It's probably the biggest letdown of the game. I'm going to say, well, we get a purple split though, as we're now 21 ahead of the 229. So yeah, I was quite happy so far going into World 6. Because, I mean, the only errors so far have basically been 3-3 and 4-4. But I knew at this point that I still might have to go for 7-7. Even after going for 4-B earlier. So I was still a bit worried that this wouldn't be a PB. But at this point, yeah, well ahead. So, yeah. I mean, I'm probably going to say something quite controversial, Jordan, but I actually wish they ported the Koopalings into this game. I actually think they would have worked well as boss fights. I would have preferred that to Histocrat. And actually, yeah, I don't like Motley and Histocrat, to be honest, in this category. They're both a nightmare. But yeah, entering 6-1, we were, yeah, over 3 minutes ahead. And there's more time saved in this as well. So I was quite confident. I just took it easy. Again, I mean, I'll leave the speedrun strats to, like, you know, when I'm doing sub 215. Like, you could probably just get a sub 220 quite easily without doing a single speedrun strat, but I mean, again, I'm just trying to complete at each level as fast as possible whilst not dying. And of course, collecting all the stars, which is basically the only, that's like basically what you have to do in this category. So yeah, picking up an extra mushroom there just for backup. Because this star, you normally lose time. I actually enter in the wrong way. Which is, will I try for 40 one day in this level? Nice stroke, Luigi Master. I mean, my record is 70 with Rosalina. I want to push it down to 63, I think. But no. I mean, as for the 40, for those who aren't in the loop, I think somebody on King Boo's video claimed that they did this level in 40 seconds with no proof, which is a 10-second untied world record. So it's always a bit fishy when somebody claims that. And of course, sure enough, we all think it's fake, because the person hasn't responded to our numerous pleas for them to share their run with us. But yeah, sure enough, we're going to convert this run. I was thinking of maybe going for an extra star. I mean, this maybe is one of the levels I can go for a backup star on. But yeah, I decided against it, and we avoid fireworks again. And is it another purple split? Yeah, it was another purple split. And at this point, we were 3 minutes 46 up. So I was quite happy at this point, all things considered. I mean, I still think in future we could still be a further 2 or 3 minutes up from here. But, you know, it's not too bad. I think after my 10th or so completed run, I'm going to start comparing against Adrylek splits again. Like I did on my first ever run. But yeah, entering 6-2. I was thinking about going for the backup star, but it takes a long time. And I think at this point I was level with my star count. Because I collected a extra star in 4-B. But I think having to go for 4-B was the main issue. I mean, I used the touchscreen here, but I didn't even clock that I was, that I actually got hit. And the touchscreen again just not working. So you just have to do it the old-fashioned way. So you pick up an item. So it's better than the last run. But I've seen, I've seen Priceless go for that first star. And he's absolutely clinical of how he takes out the bullies. So I do want to try to be better at that. So this is definitely a level I can improve on. Again, I'm trying to use the touchscreen. For some reason, it just pats them. It's really annoying. I don't know why. So again, I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. Oh, nice to have you back, Jordan. I mean, this was, all in all, it was a much better 6-2 than yesterday, but yeah. Yeah, the touchscreen's a nightmare. Oh, nice to see you, Pretends to Note. Welcome to the meme category, known as Mario %. I'm still a long way off world record, but this was a large step in the right direction. So, that's why I decided to pre-record it and share it with you guys. I'll probably go back to proper live streams in future, but it just gave me a chance to get a few runs in earlier and go for a proper run. But yeah, you don't really require as much skill as like 380 stars and 80%. Because, yeah, I can afford to get damaged as long as I get a checkpoint or pick up a mushroom. But it still requires some element of concentration. I mean, so far, it's been quite good. I think I've had 3 or 4 deaths up to this point. But because I dropped 3 stars, 2 in 3-3 and 1 in 4-4, just set this run back a bit. So, I mean, 4 minutes ahead though, and I was level with. At this point, I'm level with star counts on the 229, so it was definitely looking good. I still wanted to go for the 7-7 star though, which is very hard in this category. But because I wanted to avoid having to get the star in 8-1, which loses a bit of time. Because unlike in any percent and 380 stars, like you sort of lose about 30 seconds going for the star right at the end, because you have to wait for the cycle. But yeah, this is a good run so far. Even if my auto-clicker did work here, I wouldn't use it. Because, first of all, I'd have to program it. And second of all, it's cheating. And I do it in ILs because that's the only way I can compete with touchscreen. But in this case, I'm on emulator. I'll just suck up the time loss by using mouse and keyboard. So for using the mouse as the touchscreen. It's slower, and that means I have to stop running, but it doesn't lose too much time, and I'm still able to get quite a decent time as a result. But yeah, as it's on emulator again, I won't be submitting this to speedrun.com, even so it would be P2 on the leaderboards. And so I know Value's done a 2:15 in this category, so which is still better than this run was. Again, I don't want to give a hint of what the final time was, but yeah, this is on emulator, but from what I know, you don't gain any time on individual levels. There could be a slight difference on full game runs, which is why I'm not submitting this, but I don't know. Yeah, Value did this category, so did Adrylek. Value did a 2 hour 15 minutes. So that's what I want to go for next run. Because I wasn't a million miles away from it. Again, this is quite a good 6-A. 32 seconds. Only 5 seconds slower than my IL best, so yeah. But yeah, if I am able to beat Value in this category without save strats, I mean, that would be a big win. I mean, because I can't get them working on emulator as well, so I'm basically on the back foot when it comes to these runs. But I don't really mind. It's my fault for using it, I suppose. But it's just much easier to like record it on my computer and stuff and upload it. So yeah, 6-5 now, another big time save here, as long as I did it right. I think I finally decided to go for the crouch glitch, so the ice glitch for the second star. You can't really use it in Mario %, here. I know you can in any percent if you do it properly, but like there's not much you can do because you have to collect this first star. Again, just trying to get the best cycle. I probably could have, yeah, Value got a 215 and didn't submit. And yeah, Adrylek did a 212. I mean, my summer best is already, at this point, a 213.13. I mean, and it only gets lower over the course of this run. And I'm sure if I combined, like, all of my ILs, like, I could probably push this category to, like, a 205 or a 207. But that will require a lot of concentration. So yeah, you can see now on the second start, very bad ice glitch. I mean, I may as well have actually just gone for the skate, because I didn't gain any time there. That was quite terrible. And I ended up having to wait for the cycle, which is not good. Because it means I'm going to miss the cycle of wind, which is going to lose about 5 seconds. And yeah, we just about missed it. But as long as I get the star the first time, it should still be an improvement over the 229. Because again, I mean, my runs have just been quite primitive up until this point. I've only completed 4. And yeah, only 1's been any good, so there wasn't much of a target to go by. Damage boost our way past him. Could have probably avoided that, but there's an easy mushroom to get in 6-7, so it wasn't the end of the world. And yeah, ending on a 288, so we avoid fireworks again. And we're now over 5 minutes ahead of the 229. So at this point, I was really thinking a sub 220 could be on the cards. So to be, you know, within 5 minutes of Value would have been amazing. And I mean, I'm not going to support what I got again, but we'll see if I did get the sub 220. But I knew as well that I could gain easily about 2 minutes in 6-castle over my 229. Because I had a very heartbreaking moment at the end of my 229 where I ended up dying right at the end of 6-castle and basically losing 2 minutes. And I know a lot of other runners have unfortunately had that pain as well. So yeah, 6-7, I don't do the memorization route because I find it too tight to get the first star. I know Adrylek did it on his world record, but for now, because it's only my 5th run, I just do the old-fashioned way. I mean, for the IL, I tried doing the memorization, but King Boo and Luigi Master are a lot better at that than I am. Like, I'm a long way off there at times. So yeah, I may as well just wait for the auto-scroller. It loses about 10 seconds tops on this level. And it saves the death. So yeah, getting the first start. We save a cycle over yesterday, because so we're a bit faster than yesterday's run. At this point. I mean, sub 2 in this category would require me to use save skips. It would require me to pretty much, well, I don't know. If I had like somebody, like, you could probably do it in 2-player with somebody like operating the touchscreen, but in 1-player, like me operating the mouse and gamepad at the same time, whilst having to endure 2.5 minutes waiting for the saves, like, it's impossible. Like, Adrylek's run over 212, like, he's been quoted as saying, like, it was nearly as good as his any percent time, in his opinion. Like, that run was really good. It had 1 death, and it looked like a speedrun. So I know I've gone on record saying that I could probably push this to a 205, but a 2 hours would be, like, maybe a human task could do this in 2 hours. Like, if I pieced together my best segments, if I started speedrunning these as ILs, I could probably get sub 2. But, I mean, this is already pushing it a lot as it is. So again, over 5 minutes up. So it's been a really good run so far. And I just didn't really want to lose this. So you're going into 6-Mystery House. Very easy level this, because it's just the touchscreen. You don't even have to move, really. But, yeah, having said that, you still got to take every level seriously. So yeah, we whiffed the entry there, which probably loses a second or so. So yeah, the first start, I could have probably got it a bit faster, but for some reason he didn't fling it properly. Yeah, I am choosing the touchscreen. And unfortunately, I actually did use touchscreen here, because you're going to see, I ended up missing this star, which lost me about 30 seconds. And yeah, once again, it's like the 4th star I've missed this run. So although it was a really good run in terms of deaths, like missing another star, and yeah, the 5-minute time save is just going to go down the drain in a second. Because, I mean, that loses at least 30 seconds or so. But, again, I decided to play it safe now. I mean, I know I can get it every time by doing that. So, yeah. So we farm 1-ups here. Am I doing the touch one? Yeah. I'm much better with touchscreen now, but this wasn't that good. I lost 30 seconds to my my purple split, so I could have definitely been over 5 minutes up at this point, but I mean I was still hoping for big things because I did lose 2 minutes in 6-castle on my 229, so I thought this could be the moment I go 7 minutes up, and that would have definitely made sub 220 possible. But yeah, this level is just quite annoying because it's not hard, but like towards the end it gets very hectic with all the enemies. And when you haven't got like the extra items to like give you a bit more HP, like you can easily, like you can't afford to tank any hits. So yeah, one of the longest levels in this run, and unfortunately it's an auto scroller. So my aim was just to basically take out all of these fire bros and hammer bros without taking any damage, because that way well yeah, that way I could basically enter the boom boom fight, and the boom boom fight is quite easy here. It's actually even easier than 2-castle in my opinion, because you can actually see where he goes. So yeah, taking out all the enemies, and I mean it was looking good so far. And I had a really good split here in yesterday's run, which was the 231. So I thought, yeah, if I just replicate it, I should be able to get another good split. But yeah, again, trying to use the bomb to take out the fire bro. I mean, we throw it at him, but he ends up moving just in time to avoid it. But yeah. Yeah, we're going to wait for the second bomb to come out, because you need the bomb for the second star here, which is just here. And I'm just taking I just took my time with the spikes, because I didn't want to damage. Because it gets really hectic after this point. Because there's 2 hammer bros, there's fire bros as well, so I wanted to avoid getting hit. And the hammer bro actually landed a shot. So at this point I'm getting quite scared. The fire bro moves out the way. I tried to get him. He's off screen, and I don't know what I was thinking. I should have just waited behind one of the pillars. But yeah, the hammer bro hits you so rarely, so I was quite unlucky there. And then to get sniped by the hammer bro as well. I still thought I could gain a tiny bit of time over my previous, well, over my PB 6-castle, because even with the death there, which loses at least 1.5 minutes, I think I died even later on in my 229, which loses even more time. So I still wanted to turn this into a blue split and extend my gap to 5 minutes, but I was really annoyed after this because I could have easily turned this into a 7-minute 7-minute improvement. But yeah, it's just I mean, I just sort of took out my frustration on these on the parade guys with the bombs. But yeah, making sure this time to not take any prisoners with the fire bros. But yeah, I mean, yeah. I just knew I couldn't afford to die again, because like all my time would be lost. Like, this is the worst level in the game to die on, and I've done it like in 2 of my best runs now, so it's definitely something I need to practice, which pains me to say because I don't like auto scrollers at all. Yeah, fire bros are actually the worst. Like boomerang bros and hammer bros are normally alright, but I don't know, I have a tendency to get hit by hammer bros in my runs for some reason. Like, I never get hit by them in yeah, I never get hit by them in my ILs, but here, yeah. Oh, you speedrun Super Mario Bros. U. Yeah, I ended up doing a few of the challenges on that game, and I ended up speeding. Oh, I speedran World Run back when I didn't know speedrun.com was a thing. So I thought my 9 minutes was quite good, and then I realized that somebody done it in 7 minutes. But yeah, I did 1 or 2 ILs in Super Mario Bros. U as well. It's a good game. But yeah, Hammer Bros in 2D games are even worse than in 3D games. But I don't know, I seem to get bad luck with them on both games, so I don't know. But yeah, Again, I had to clutch a 10-second ending here to avoid fireworks. Yeah. So yeah, clutch the 10-second ending, we avoid fireworks, and amazingly, even after dying, we're going to actually gain 11 seconds on the 229, so it just shows how bad that run 6-castle was. So again, I mean, we're still up on the run by nearly 5 minutes, and I knew there was still much more time to save towards the end of World 8, so I thought this could still be on course for the sub 220. But I've notoriously binned it in World 8 in the past. So I didn't want to write myself off. But, I mean, I can't wait till like my 10th or so run, like completed full game run of this. Because by then I should have been eliminated most of the deaths. And like my splits should hopefully look like what they were looking like in World 2. Which is basically, I only gain 1 or 2 seconds each split, only lose 1 or 2 seconds each split. Because it's quite frustrating having these splits go all over the place at the moment. But, I mean, that's what you sort of have until you've optimized the category. And I'm sure as I approach Adrylek's 212, I will get more and more refined splits. But yeah, Boss Blob is a bit of a pain. I mean, this fight is much easier than the second fight. I mean, I've gotten used to him because I did a lot of IL practice for boss splits. A few weeks ago, and as Luigi Master knows, I managed to get a 274 with Rosalina no items, which is only, I think, 23 seconds off world records, and they use catsuit and stuff, so I had a really cooked run. So I'm beginning to learn this guy, and on 6-C he's an absolute cakewalk. As long as you avoid the blobs, but that's quite easy to do. I mean, it's Histocrat who's the real nightmare in this category. I just wish I could use Luigi. Like, Luigi saves so much time. Not just on Histocrat, but like in a lot of levels. And of course, I mean, you don't unlock Rosalina until post-game, and otherwise, this category could easily go sub 2 hours. Like, she is so broken in no items, it's just a joke. Like, there's so many skips I could do. And it'll just be generally a lot easier. I mean, I think one day I might try just speedrunning the game without items. But just using any character I want. I think that way I could probably get sub 2. Because Toad, I'm a lot more comfortable with Toad than I am with Mario. Like, my Mario movement's still really bad. And, yeah, I hate having 4 clones here, but I normally have them as insurance just in case I die in, Boss Blob. And sure enough, we managed to avoid fireworks again. And, it's not a, purple split, but again, we only lose 4 seconds to the 229. And we're still just over 4 minutes 40 ahead. So still a good run so far. And yeah, going into World 7. I think I had quite a good World 7 in my 229. So there wasn't much time to gain there. But World 8 really began to slip away from me in my PB run, I remember. Because I think in my PB run I was on course for like a 224 or 225. And then I ended up like slipping back to a 229. So at this point I was like, yeah, this could be the sub 220. Which has been one of my like more immediate goals, I'd say. My long-term goal is to get a world record in this category, even if I can't post it to speedrun.com. Because hopefully that will like drum up interest in like no item runs. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've sometimes advertised my runs on the actual 3D World server, and I've managed to get a few people doing it. But like, I really like ILs of this game. Like, a lot of people hate that it's time to the nearest second, but I think that's actually one of the strengths of this game, because it means that untimed world records are like really special in this game, because you have to like do something which nobody else has done in order to gain that extra second. And it's not even a full second, like it's like 3/4 of an in-game second. So I actually end up slipping off the pipe, missing my reference, but fortunately I'm still able to take out the hammer bro. So the fire bro, and that was like a heart in mouth moment, because I've lost a lot of time before by missing that. And yeah, we missed it again pretty much, but we were able to recover. But it meant that we were going to be small going into 7-3. And for me, that's unacceptable, because 7-3 has a place where you pretty much have to damage boost through. Like I've only like once avoided like damage boost through it. So I decided that I was gonna like, you know, take the L early on in 7-3. And just lose 5 seconds by just killing myself at the beginning, rather than dying right at the end of the level, which is where I normally have to damage boost. And like in my 2:31 yesterday, I lost a lot of time because I didn't do that. So I looked for any nearby mushrooms, and then I didn't actually see the brick box in the corner. That could easily house one, but I ended up just committing suicide just to make sure I have the big guy. And it's important I don't tank a hit early on, because I need to tank a hit later. So you hear, I mean, this star quite easy to get, but I normally just try to reverse my momentum here, so it saves a bit of time. And you can do that by like changing direction on one of these boost pads by jumping. So this is the bit where I normally damage boost through, and yeah, once again, like even trying to avoid it, you end up damage boosting through it. So, oh, it becomes a coin helmet. Oh, thank you. That's really good information. Pretends to know. I don't think I'll be able to draw. Yeah, I think I'll probably lose it before where I need to damage boost anyway. So it's probably worth just ending the run early and then coming back as Mushroom Mario. But it's still nice to know. But hopefully in future I don't take damage in 7-1, because then I can go into 7-3 without having to just seppuku at the beginning. But yeah, 7-4, I mean, this level's been quite alright since my first ever run. I remember losing like 6 minutes on my original 2:48 on this in this run, and it was such a tragic level this. But since then I've been able to get quite good at it. I mean, this level is an absolute cakewalk as an individual level, because Rosalina just can fly over the whole stage. But in terms of with Mario, it's a bit more precarious. So I go for a little skip here. I ended up having to damage boost, which is quite annoying. Because it means I'm going to have to take it easy until the checkpoint. So the last thing I want to do is die here, because that loses another minute. So it's better just to wait for a cycle. I could maybe make that long jump, now I look at it now. But it seems a bit far. And it wouldn't be worth risking it. So yeah, picking up the checkpoint. And yeah. Been quite a solid run so far on this level. I can't remember if this was a purple split or not. But yeah, we missed the cycle there, which is a shame. I mean, there's a lot of levels which rely on cycles, so you can only really gain or lose time in increments on those sort of levels. I think 4-5 is the prime example. So again, I'm having trouble with the touchscreen. It's sort of just doing whatever it wants. But it's still faster than just going gung-ho. Like with Rosalina, you can just completely skip that section. You should probably even do it with Luigi, but there's no point risking it with Mario. And we're going to gain some more time. So a whole 1 second over the 2:29. So yeah, we're back to being 4 minutes 40 ahead. So yeah, 7-A now. And I wanted to redeem myself after a very poor 4-castle. Because I'm normally good at brawler fights, but I don't know. I sort of had a nightmare in 4-castle. So just trying to avoid that. But at this point, I still thought I had to go for the extra star in 7-7, which is very annoying to get. So yeah, trying to... Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get first cycle Brawler because he ended up sniping one of the guys there. Yeah, very nice timing there on the second takedown note. But yeah, if you miss the... if you have to wait an extra cycle, it loses about 7 or 8 seconds in game time. So it's not the end of the world, but because I don't think I had it on my 2:29 either. But I know I've had some runs which I've just done it first time, and it's just... Will I try for 33? Yeah, it's a tied world record by you and Boo, isn't it? I've got 37 on Actually, I think ironically I've got 37 with Mario. So I could probably go for 36 with Toad, no items. And then, yeah, I could probably go for 34 with Katsu. But, again, you guys use touchscreen and stuff as well, and I'm not that good at flicking between the two. So 33 will probably be out of the question. It'll be interesting if you can get 35 or 36 in my category, the Luigi Master, because I know my 37 isn't perfect. So yeah, getting the first star here with that nice spin jump. But yeah, I mean, this run has been quite good. I mean, I went for a little skip again with the swamps. It's quite cool when you do that. Yeah, it's been a good run, I suppose. But I was still really a bit upset about 6-Dash Castle. Really, you like this level, Jordan? I actually used to hate this level. An awful lot. But me and Luigi Master ended up having a bit of a brawl in terms of no items IL on this stage. Where, like, me and him, we both used Rosalina. And we were able to completely hammer the record down to like the low 80s. So I want to revisit it. Because like you can perform a really good skip with Rosalina. A bit like the Catsuit guys do. But basically around where the first star is, you can basically do a long jump. And I end up fluffing this a bit. But I'm able to take out the electric enemy at least. The electric blob. And that's what I sort of do on this level. I know that these guys are like one of the worst enemies in the game. So if I can just take out as many as possible, it makes the descent a lot easier. Again, I'll probably try to optimize it once I get below 215. But for now, it's just trying to make sure it's fast, but it's safe. And that's what this run mostly was. But I had a few good like speedrunning moments like earlier on in the run. But at this point, it's just trying to consolidate the 5 minutes ahead I was. Is it going to the warp box? And unfortunately we get fireworks. I need to start paying attention to that, but it's not going to be purple, but again 2-second improvement over the 229. So still an improvement. So next up is 7- Captain Toad. And once again I actually forgot to go to 7- Captain Toad. I went to 7-7 first. Because I just wanted to get the star out the way. And you'll see which star I'm talking about. I've only nailed it once in a full game run. I know Adrylek nailed it in his world record. I nailed it in my 232, which is my second ever run. But since then, I just haven't gone for it because it's too risky. Like, even so, it doesn't really lose any time. But I thought I'll go for it as well. Because if I went for it here, I thought I could skip a star in 8-1. And, yeah, I missed the spin jump. And, yeah, I ended up dying. So I was like, okay, that was a bit of an L. I thought I'll go for it one more time. And if I miss it, I'm just going to abandon it. Because yesterday, I ended up getting it, like, after about 30 seconds of failed attempts. But then I ended up missing the second star. So, like, it was pointless. But, yeah, we missed it just about. We got quite close. But I was like, you know what? We just need to go on at this point. And take a slight time loss. So from now on, I'm just not going to attempt that star. And I just hopefully won't miss 2 stars in 3-3. like I did this run. Or the one in 4-4 for this matter. Yeah, a bit of an L there. Because I thought after missing it there, I might miss the cycle, which is needed to get the 3rd star. Like, I had a really bad movement, but I'm able to just about get it. Still, even after the bad movement. So it's quite a generous cycle, that. So as long as you're like there or thereabouts within the time limit. So yeah, unfortunately not able to get all 3 stars on this level, because I nearly pin it into the lava. But yeah, 7- Castle up next, and yesterday I sort of lost a lot of time there. On my 229 though, it was really cooked, so I knew I wasn't going to gain too much time on 7- Castle. Even so, actually I'm not doing 7- Castle next, sorry, I'm doing 7- Captain Toad. Which, again, is a place I probably can save a bit of time in future. But yeah, so far we're approaching the 2-hour mark. So normally that means we're about, well, at this point you've got just over half an hour to go normally. So yeah, but it's looking like we're easily gonna enter World 8 well ahead of 2-hour pace, and probably even at this rate sub 155. Yeah, time for Captain Toad, and this is my worst Captain Toad of all of them. My PB is 37, which is 4 seconds off world record. All the other ones I'm literally within 1 or 2 seconds of. I know Luigi Master's got a world record here on it with Boo, which is basically the story of the whole game, to be honest. We end up damage boosting through that, which is not good. We get that star, and we actually got this cycle, but I didn't realize, and yeah, that's gonna lose about 10 seconds or so. And that was quite annoying because that would have been a big time save over yesterday. But we can avoid getting the extra stars, I suppose. This time we get the cycle, and yeah, that was a bit disappointing because I could have got quite a good run. We nearly actually binned the run right at the end there as well, which would have been horrendous. That would have lost us even more time, but we just about saved it. Normally, like, you can just blindly run at that start and it just always collects. But for some reason, it just didn't get it that time. So luckily, I actually changed the camera before I fell off. Otherwise, that would have been very annoying. So yeah, 7-dash castle. I mean, this is definitely going to be really good splits to go up against. There's a lot of places. There's 2 or 3 sections where, you know, 6-dash castle, 2 minutes lost. 3-3, about 1 minute lost because I lost 2 stars. And I had to go to 4-A. But apart from that, this run so far was pretty good. I could probably only be about 5 minutes up on this point at this point if I had a perfect run. And I'm already 5 minutes up on the 2-hour 29 minute. But I mean, 7-dash castle was important to do it properly this time. So I actually decided to go for the touchscreen. I mean, Jordan saw me fail miserably yesterday. I'm going for my roll strats, where I basically roll into the footballs to take out Bowser. And I decided that I'll just go for the kill this time. But yeah, I mean, I think yesterday's run I lost so much time here. And I think that was the reason why I sort of didn't get a PB yesterday. I mean, the run yesterday was pretty terrible as it was, but apart from that, I dropped probably just as many stars as I dropped today. So that combined sort of made it an ultimate nightmare run. And I was, I think I was 31 seconds going up into the final fight. But because I was 2 stars down, I had to pick up both 4-B and 5-B in order to make even. So yeah, I just ground pounded before entering the warp box because I wanted to see if there was any mushrooms, but as I'm going for touchscreen strats, there's not really any chance of me dying in this fight. Like, if I went for roll strats, it's a lot more risky. And nailing the first touchscreen, I don't normally do that. But yeah, I think we had a good touchscreen in 1-dash castle as well. Again, nailing the second one, so I thought this could be the 3 for 3, which I normally only get in my individual levels, to be honest. But I know there's a backup one, just in case I miss this one. And no, I get a 3 for 3, so that is pretty much the perfect 7-dash castle. Like, movement could be optimized, but no, boss fight was perfect. You can't do it any faster. And generally only about 2 or 3 seconds of mistakes, so a much better 7-dash castle than basically all the other runs, especially yesterday's run. And that 5-minute time, well, the 5-minute ahead should turn into maybe even 5.5 minutes, but we'll just see after we end the level. So yeah, Adrylek, just for reference, I did this run earlier, so I know what the result was. And all I'm saying is that it was a PB, as you can see in the title. But it was quite a big one at that. But there's still a long way I can go with this. Like, my summer best at this point, we're just, well, we got another massive purple there of 8 seconds. So our summer best is about to dip into the 2:12s, which is entering world record territory. But again, a summer best is one thing, actually getting it in a run is another. But it's definitely positive that my summer best is approaching Adrylek's world records after only 5 completed runs. But There's definitely improvement to do. But as we enter World 8, a 1:52:45, so a brilliant pace so far. And there's still much more time to gain because I had a bad World 8 in my PB run. So I know I could still gain another 3 minutes or so if all goes well. So I think at this point I'd sort of written off a sub 220. I knew I was going to need something really special in order to get sub 220, which for reference would be less than 8 minutes behind world records. And I mean, I'm already well clear of second place on speedrun.com. Not that I can submit it, but it would be nice to get a sub 220. But at this point, I was sort of resigned to the fact, but I just wanted to end World 8 as good as possible. And I think, I mean, this run could have easily been 2.5 minutes up on this, just if I didn't die in 6-castle. Like, I've done it twice now on my best 2 runs. And that level is just, I don't know, it's an easy level, but I've done it twice. And because it's so long, it really costs you when you die on that level. There's no checkpoints, you have to restart again. But yeah, we just get a mushroom just for, just to play it safe. And as we missed the extra star in 7-7, I was going to have to go for the 3rd star in this level. Which I want to skip in future because it takes a long time. But, I mean, it's quite safe to get, I suppose. So we get the 1st star. At this point, I realised that as long as I got this star here, as long as I didn't drop another star, I would be on course to get 170 stars on the dot. But again, I mean, I had to go to 4-B earlier, which was a bit of a shame because you don't normally have to go there, and that loses about a minute or so. But that's because I sort of mucked up 3-3 by missing 2 stars there. But sure enough, I would normally go straight for the finish here, and you can basically skip that cycle and go into the warp box about now. But as a result, I'm going to have to wait quite a long time. So I'm going to have to collect this star, then basically go back on here, and then wait for not just 1 cycle, but 2 cycles, as this now has to go back to where it came from. So I definitely want to avoid this star in future because it loses time. And I think the world record goes for this star. So that's definitely a place I can gain over the world record. And I mean, I can easily make up for this star by, you know, getting the stars in 4-4, getting the stars in 3-3. And I mean, I already go for a few extra stars than the world record does. So, and I'm going for 3-7 star 3 now. Even so, it's a bit slower than just going for 2 stars. But yeah, 8-1, I don't know. I find it alright. It's not too bad. I want to go for the skip though. But now we're going up to basically a Plessy level. And Plessy levels are always my favourite because I can compete with the people with items. Because, yeah, you basically don't gain any time. I think Luigi Master, just to prove it, I think he got 88 without items, which is the same as the world record. I've only been able to get an 89. I'm not as good as him. But, yeah. Yeah, 8-3 is really annoying, which is why I don't do it. So, I've seen this brainstorm on the chat in Super Mario, the Super Mario 3D World Discord server. Yeah, the way you get that 1st star is just by neutral sticking it the whole way down, and you get it every single time. I haven't had a problem with it. So, the first 2 stars are quite easy. But yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I do 8-2 over 8-3. On this category, 8-2 is almost definitely faster. I think even Adrylek uses it, to be honest. I know he uses 1-5 over 1-4, but for me that 1-5 would just be a nightmare on the mouse. Without somebody like helping me over Parsec. And of course I don't really want to do that on a full game run, even if I'm not submitting it. Because if I want to get the world record, I want to do it legit. And I mean, Adrylek's world record didn't use the safe skips, so I suppose I'm on the even playing field on him in terms of that regard. But yeah, we're going to end this level. It's quite trivial, and it's going to be a 97. So we actually get fireworks. I thought we were going to end on a 98, but we could probably easily turn that into a 95 if done well. Because there's no reason why I should lose more than 5 seconds to my IL. Because the Bowser statue loses a bit of time when you have to collide into it, and neutral sticking it probably loses 2 or 3 seconds at the beginning. But apart from that, I could probably improve a bit. But it's actually still a purple split. So we've had 3 back-to-back purple splits. So reminiscent of, you know, 5-castle and, of course, 3-X as well. Where I also had, like, 3 back-to-back purples. So, 8-train as well. I mean, I've thrown a lot of... I seem to throw a lot of runs away on these auto-scrollers, but this time I go for a nice little skip. I don't even think Adrylek goes for that. But I found it works, so I thought, why not? It's quite nice. It's quite satisfying as well. But we got hit, which is annoying, because I'm now going to have to pick up a coin box to basically protect me from any further damage. And whilst the pom-pom fight isn't too hard, I do like to have an extra item going into it. Mostly because, like, collecting the 3rd star as well. Yeah. I mean, in terms of, like, beating Adrylek eventually, if I don't die, there's no reason why I can't get close, if not beat him. Because, like, when I watched his run, I watched most of his run, he doesn't do anything remarkable. He just plays it safe, he plays it smart, and he doesn't die. And that's basically what it is with this category. So, hopefully I can turn this from a meme into something which is actually optimized, because there's no reason why this can't be more optimized than any percent. It's easier than any percent. You know, the movement's easier than any percent. There's no major skips anyway. So if I can like do a, you know, a human task of 2 hours and then get close to it, I think that should hopefully encourage a few more people to run this category. And I think Yandima said he might want to race me a week or two, in a week or two's time, but yeah. Yeah, pom-pom, just not taking any risks by predicting it. There's no point when I'm this small. But this fight is annoying sometimes because perspective-wise I sometimes miss my jump, as I do now, but I'm able to salvage it, and luckily I don't die. That would have been over a minute time lost. So yeah, we're beginning to finish the run, over 2 hours now, so we're on the home stretch. Midway through 8-8. Well, just under halfway. But yeah, you know, hopefully in the next week or two I get the value bop for P2. And then the world record should hopefully follow. But I'm not taking my hopes up because it is very hard doing a 2-hour run. Like, whilst like, you know, my summer bests, like even after this run, my summer bests were literally like neck and neck with world records. Like, it's another thing entirely, as I've said numerous times, getting it. Because I know the any percent guys are really good at just getting their, like, PB splits each time. As I accidentally enter 8-train, a rookie mistake there. That's going to lose me about 10 seconds. Yeah, right now I'm just not really able to keep up with my purple splits each time. So yeah, unfortunately losing a bit of time going into 8-4 because of that idiotic mistake. But yeah, we're still over 5 minutes ahead. And H-7, 8-A, and 8-B all have massive time saves. So I was looking forward to it. However, I mean, my 8-6 in my 229 was very good. So, and that's notoriously a very hard level. So I knew I had to be careful there. But yeah, making sure I don't die. I seem to always have at least one death on this level. I normally go for like an audacious long jump and I just clatter into one of these things. And I mean, again, like taking damage for no real reason. I mean, this is still not really looking like a speedrun in my opinion. Like, if you, all it takes is to watch one like IL of like no items, and like you can see the movements should be a lot more refined than this. I'm still going for like some of these little skips, so I'm gonna go for a little skip here. It saves like 1 second, and then instantly get clattered. I mean, I will start long jumping soon in this section as well. But again, getting the start, all 3 stars, and it's just basically bringing it home now. Now I can go for a skip here as well by doing a long jump, but I tried it on one run and it didn't go well. Like, it's much easier to do with like Toad, Luigi, and Rosalina than Mario, to be honest. But we're gonna get a clutch ending, 284, and we lose about 15 seconds because we accidentally entered 8-train. We ended up losing 20 seconds there, but I mean, it's still nearly 5 minutes up, which is always a welcome sight. Yeah, I mean, what's positive is that if I'm able to get close to a 220 here, then I can pretty much like, with like the warp pipes in World 1 and World 4, I reckon I could probably cut an extra 10 minutes off when I actually try any percent eventually. And like, you know, I won't go for any of this cap momentum malarkey and stuff, even so I can do it. Just play it safe and I probably can get a sub 2 quite easily, I suppose. Because this, I know for a fact that like the warp pipes save at least 10 minutes. Because Adrylek's warpless world record is like a 154, and his best time at any percent is like a, I don't know, 145 or something, 142. So it's about 12 minute time loss when you basically do each level without the warp pipes. But unfortunately, you can't use the warp pipes in Mario percent. I don't even think they're allowed, but I don't think, even if they were, I don't think you can get to them anyway. But yeah, it's all about trying to get the checkpoint on this level. Because this sequence is so long. If you die here, it's just like a big time loss. And there's no reason to take risks. I've got like, at this point I was getting a bit panicked. Because I was small and sure enough I just threw it into the bin. I was really annoying at that point. I don't know, I sort of got spooked that I was small. And then I went for a roll jump. A bit earlier than it probably would have worked. And it just misinput the jump for some reason. It just didn't input it. So I must have done it a bit late. But at the time, it just felt really annoying. Because it felt like it wasn't wholly my fault. And yeah, I sort of threw this run away as well. So that's losing another 15 seconds. So at this point, I've lost over a minute. And I'm like, oh dear. I'm going to have a very, very bad end of World 8 again, aren't I? Just like I did on my 229. So, I mean, at this point, any chance of sub 220... is gone. I think it would already gone by this point, but I mean there still was probably a sliver of chance. But no, I mean this has just killed it. And I still think, like, you know, if I had a good level here and a good level at 6-Castle, a better 3-3, like this could easily be a 218 or 217. Like my summer best aren't, like there's no reason why I shouldn't be close to my summer best, which I mean, as of now, we already stand at a 212, 51. And that's before the end of the run, where I know I can get a few more purples. But again, just taking it easy this time. And I just didn't want to throw it away. I actually clicked the PAL just to make sure, get rid of some of them. And yeah, very, very safe there. Just making sure I don't make the same mistake. But I knew as long as I didn't make any mistakes here on out, that I still would be well ahead of pace. But it was definitely annoying because I knew I was going to lose a lot of time to my PB. Because my PB had a pretty good 8-6. Again, taking this section quite safe. I mean, I could do it a lot quicker, but I just don't want to die now. Because it would lose, again, another minute, which is just unacceptable. But yeah, I mean, luckily with this level, I don't have to go for like any of the jank they have to do in any percent. Like they have to like do candle strats and stuff, which is really annoying. But I tried doing that in an IL with Rosalina, and I found it really hard. So I'm lucky that in Mario percent you just basically get to enjoy the rides and just hopefully not get hit. But yeah. I mean, overall, this was a lot better than the 229, and a lot better than yesterday's run as well. I probably will take a little break as a result, because I want to get some ILs done, notably, well, especially after the horrendous 3-3 today. I want to go for 3-361. I uploaded 3-362 like a few days ago, and there's still notable room for improvement. I've even been on 60% before. Of course he doesn't use candle straps on Mario percent. You can't do it. I don't think it's possible, Luigi Master. Like, you can't feasibly do it. Yeah, I'll do Champions Rose attempts as well, and I'll load it if I get it. I think that's the main priority now. Just getting 3-3 done, Champions Road, and I've pretty much tidied up my category, just in case Luigi Master wants to return to it and beat all my records, like he did with Booze. But no, my category is looking quite solid in terms of the ILs. But I do want to complete Champions Road because my best time is a 2:66, which is absolutely abysmal. Like, as I showed you, Jordan, like, I think this guy called Rain was able to get a Toad no catsuit run in 213, which was an amazing run, but it's definitely beatable. So I want to do that. So yesterday's run, I ended up dropping a star here, which basically killed a PB yesterday, because I had to go to like 5-A and 5-B. So sorry, 4-B and 5-B, which lost a lot of time. So just making sure I don't lose it this time. And I mean, I missed this star before, so here you go. Just getting it, which is cool. And then, I mean, this star here is impossible to get to the top within 10 seconds without a catsuit. So both me and Adrylek just kill ourselves after this point. But as you can see, it's a gold split, and we are now down to a summer best of 2:12:49. So at this point, even so I'd lost a minute and a half in 8-6, I still knew it could be a big time, because there's a lot of time to save now. I mean, everything else from here is just time save. Like 8-7, I had a death near the end, which loses a minute. 8-A, I think I had a death, which loses 30 seconds. And Histocrat, I've just always done Histocrat bad. And I knew if I had a good Histocrat, then, you know, I could still be on course for something like a 2:22. Even so, I knew it was going to be very tight if I was going to get something like that. I mean, again, right now, 4 minutes ahead. I mean, it sort of indicates I was on 2:25 pace, but I knew I could turn this into a 2:22 if I was skillful enough. What do you mean by soft blocks? Sorry. So yeah, this level, I mean, I'm normally quite good at it, but I just wanted to take it easy and just not die. So I'm not going to be ground pounding the guy, well, I'm not going to be ground pounding the, oh no, oh yeah, I see what you mean with 8- Mystery House. Yeah, it's called Mystery House Climb, so I think that's why. I think that's why they, that's how they explain it away. If we could find a way, Jordan, like, this would be bigger than the one-touch, well, of course, the one-touch to warp skip would be big, but what would be even bigger if I've tried getting the 5th star in an IL before, and I was about 2 seconds away from it. If I can do it consistently, I can get the 6th star as well, and that would save over a minute, because I would be able to avoid stars like 8-1, I'll be able to avoid stars like 8-7, sorry, 7-7, and like all of these stars which lose time or are very dangerous, I could avoid, and it will basically make the run a lot easier. But as of now, I think you can only get 4. In terms of this though, I took this level quite easy. I've done it with Rosalina before in 131, but this is a 167. Very slow, but you know, there's no reason to go fast. I mean, the Gromblump like only stays about 10 seconds at most if you ground pound it, and I sort of did part of the way anyway. So yeah, the last 3 levels. So at this point, less than, well, just over 10 minutes left, or just less than 10 minutes, depending on how quick the ending was. But I still knew there was a lot of time to save. You can see I gained over a minute, nearly a minute in 8-7. It wasn't purple, but it was still enough to gain over the death I had in the 229. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not quite a soft lock, to be honest, as you said. Right, so this is the worst Monty fight, apart from in boss splits, where he gets even worse. But This is a very annoying one. And straight away, we take damage, which is not a good sign. It's not a good sign when you take damage in a Monty fight, because even with clones, like, he can take you both out in one go, because these rings are just so annoying. And I choose to avoid the rings on this run, because I was just like, I don't want to risk it. And I end up losing about 5-10 seconds chasing him. So at this point, like, you know, a 222 is beginning to slip out of the picture. But I still thought I'd go for it. I knew I could do a much better histocrat. So again, just playing it safe. And I mean, I've done it a lot faster before, but at least I didn't die, I suppose. It's still going to be an improvement over the 229. Picking up the start. And then sure enough, if I can get a 10-second ending, I should be able to avoid fireworks. But with the clones, it's a nightmare. I'll probably get a 12-second ending, to be honest, knowing me. Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, I actually split the two, so I didn't get any fireworks. So not a purple split, but still enough to gain it nearly a minute. So at this point, we're nearly 6 minutes up, and there's still a bit more time to gain in histocrat. So at this point, I'm thinking, yeah, 222 is probably possible, but anything lower is probably out the question at the moment. So by now, Adrylek's world record's passed, and Value's second place time is fast approaching. But I actually think if we avoided the death in 6-castle, and we got a few more stars early on, this run could have easily been up there with those two. Like, it was a very good run. It wasn't necessarily a speed run, but in terms of like deaths, like normally at this point I'm on 3 or 4 lives. Like, I'm on 19 lives at the moment, which is very good. I pretty much actually, to be honest, I pretty much avoided deaths in almost all levels. But 6-castle, well, when I did have deaths in this run, I just lost a lot of time, like in 6-castle. So the first kill taking a long time on histocrat there. Again, it's so much easier with Luigi. It's not even funny. Again, going for it, and this histocrat fight is a lot harder because she moves an awful lot compared to the first one. So it's hard for me to get in from the side. Like with Luigi, you can approach from the back, you can approach from the front, you can approach from anywhere. But with Mario, you need to approach from the sides. And you get very close to the hitbox. And I was lucky not to die there. Like, I was so relieved at this point. I actually let out a little cheer. I mean, unfortunately, I'm not live streaming it. And otherwise, you could have seen my raw reaction. But I was very happy because entering 8-castle, I would be over 6 minutes ahead. It wasn't going to be a purple sector, but we're over 6 minutes ahead going into 8-castle. And yeah, for those of you still here, would I be able to clutch it out? Would I be able to clutch a 222? Jordan didn't actually see it yesterday, but he was watching almost all of yesterday's run, and he had to leave just before the end. And I'm almost glad he did, because I had to go to 4-B, then 5-B, and then I ended up dying on Bowser. So yeah, this run definitely does show progress, and I do want to go for sub 220. I don't think I'm going to beat it immediately though. Even so, it has a lot of errors in. I think it's good enough to hold for 1 or 2 runs. But eventually, yeah, I'll go for sub 215. I'll go for sub 210. Like, once I start speedrunning it, like, this run shows that I won't die. But yeah, I mean, trust me, you didn't miss anything yesterday, Jordan. I ended up dying on this level. It was not good. So I ended up killing myself at the beginning. The reason why is because I knew I was on 222 pace and I just wanted to bank it. Basically, I knew if I died here, I would lose 222 pace. So I wouldn't normally do this. But to be honest, if I'm on world record pace as well, and I'm able to like throw away 5 seconds just by like, you know, just to make sure I don't take damage here, I will do that. Now, I knew that, you know, 6 minutes 22, I should be able to get quite comfortably a sub 223, but I ended up rolling off there, which is a big mistake. Like, these bullies were beginning to annoy me. I ended up missing the easiest jump imaginable. And at this point, I was like, what is going on? So I'm just, you know, trying to compose myself again. I miss another jump, and I do it again, and this time I can't recover. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, it's like I'm trying to bottle the 222. And I was like, okay, it's gone now. Like, I only had about 11 seconds leeway. And I wasted about 15 seconds. And I was like, how on earth have I blown it? Like, you know. I was literally in shock. Like, it was the easiest jump. This level was so easy. Like, without doing the Meowser skip and stuff. Which I don't need to do in this category. And I somehow managed to blow it away. But I knew that, you know, as long as I had a really good stair sequence, I could maybe just about sneak it in. I wasn't sure as well how good my my final fight was in my 229. All I knew is that yesterday's fight lost at least a minute and a half. I went from like 30 seconds up going into this level to like 2.5 minutes down because I had to collect so many stars because I was like 168. As I mentioned a bit earlier, Luigi Master, I will actually do a regular any percent, but I won't go for any of the ridiculous strats. I know you want to be the first person to, you know, be the first, well, to get sub 2 on your first ever attempt. I want to do it as well, and the way I'm going to do it is basically get my Mario percent to a 2 hour 10, and then basically just employ the warps. That's all I'm going to do. Employ warps, and just go for a few extra stars, which I wouldn't normally do. And that's how I'm going to get sub 2. I'm not going to go for any skips. I'm not going to do any deaths. And hopefully, I can get sub 2 on my first ever attempt. But I'm not going to do it until I get a world record in this category. I mean, if you want to get Boo's world records in any percent, that's up to you, Luigi Master. I know you can do it. You've beaten him in ILs. You know, you've been doing him there. But in terms of this, I even said, Luigi Master, just so you get sub 2 on your first attempt and you can have bragging rights over the community, do a few of these runs. It doesn't count towards any percent. Do a few of these runs, get a sub 220, and then basically, you can do all this jank stuff which you do with Peach and Catsuit, and you'll have a lot of time in the bank if you know you can do a 220 without warps and without items. Like, I think you could get 150 on your first attempt. I really do. Like, your consistency won't be up there with Yandima immediately because you haven't done a full game run before. And I know for a fact because my first full game run was tragic, even so I was actually quite good at speedrunning individual levels. But no, there's no reason why you can't get sub 150 on your first attempt. Like, you're that good at ILs, like, it's just bonkers. Like, you could probably gain, like, you know, 30 seconds on, like, most other people. On, like, some ILs. So, like, even so you die, it doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? But yeah, the last bit of the fight, I just didn't want to bin it. Because yeah. Yeah, Boo is probably more consistent than Yandima still. I agree with Luigi. We just haven't seen him in a while. He wants to return and get a 135. I think a lot of people are putting pressure on him to do it, but I think he can if he returns to it. Yandima's really good though. In terms of consistency, yeah, he's definitely up there. But yeah, just taking it easy here. And yeah, we didn't die there like we did in yesterday's run. And I was still unsure if this was a 222 or not. I didn't know because I'm not going to spoil it until the end. Because I think maybe if Pretends to Know still in the chats, he would maybe know if this was 220. He could probably know ahead of time if this is 222 material. But I haven't done many of these runs, so I didn't know if it was a 222 or a 223. And for me, that makes a big difference. Like, you know, I've been quite lucky in the past with getting, like, you know, 57 and 58 second finishes on the minute. So I was seeing if I can do it again. And that is Super Mario 3D World Mario percent. As we just tidy up the final bit. I was literally just praying the cutscene just hurries up now. Yeah, Luigi Master could probably get sub 2 for first attempt, I agree. But he will need to build up consistency. And he can do that by running this category. Nah. Or you can run a category like 2, 4, 3 stars as well. That would be good practice, I think. Better practice than this. So you can see now, I've only got 15 seconds to get the sub. Will I do it? Will I not? I still have to enjoy a cutscene, by the way. So I was still unsure, even at this point, if I got the sub or not. And I actually missed the jump. I flummoxed, but I'm able to get it. A 222 57.41. I got the sub. And, you're going to do 3-5 attempts. Cool. Try to get an 88 like me and Luigi did. Yeah, I'll send you my splits after this, I think. That'll be cool. I think it saves my PBs as well, my best splits as well. But yeah, you can see as well, I don't actually get any more purples after the 8-M, so my best splits still remain as a 212.49. But I'm sure after next run it will be easily into the 211s, 210s. Oh, you're going to do 3 or 4. You're going to actually try Mario percent. Oh, cool. Oh, good luck. I mean, the time to beat, it's going to be quite hard on your first attempt because it's a very big deal running a category for the first time. But I'm glad I inspired at least one person to do it. So, yeah, I think if you want to go, well, if after 5 attempts, try to get a sub 240. Sub 230 should be everyone's long-term goal. Because as you're on official console as well, you can actually get P2 on speedrun.com quite easily. Because Duralandon's time of 234 is beatable by quite a long way. And yeah, I mean, if you give it a go, it'll be great to see how you do. I'll be rooting for you. And if you are able to live stream as well, I probably won't be able to watch tonight, but whenever you are live streaming, I will probably try to give it a watch. But yeah, I mean, sub 215 is the goal for me. My first ever run, Jordan, was a 248.57. So that is your aim. A 248.57. If you can get sub 3 on your first attempt, though, that would be really impressive. I think Priceless got a 242 on his first attempt, but that was with safe skips. And so it's still better than my first attempt. But yeah, I mean, that's really cool. But yeah, I mean, I suppose it's the easiest way to get a sub 2. Just do this and then implement the warp pipes, because that pretty much guarantees you an almost sub 2. But you do need to get quite good at this category in order for sub 2 to be possible. So, yeah. Without further ado, that was the run. And as you can see, over 6 minutes ahead. He only lost 9 seconds on the final level. And I thought, after the nightmare, which was the conveyor, well, the Ferris wheel, I thought I'd lost a bit more time than that. But, yeah. Without further ado, I mean, I think I was a really good run personally. That's why I decided to do some runs earlier in order to stream now. Because it's much easier to stream a pre-recorded run than do it live, I suppose. Yeah, I think that's probably the wisest way to look at it, Jordan. But for me, like, as I can't submit to speedrun.com, like, the best way for me is just to, you know, I suppose it's just to, grind this category and get a world record. But it was a good run. It was still far from perfect. I mean, if this will allow me to. Looking at the splits, then, I mean, you can see all the splits from 3-3. 3-3 was a blue split, which means I gained 9 seconds on my previous 3-3. But that's deceiving, because that lost me a minute. I lost 2 stars there. The second one I shouldn't have lost at all. The first one I can't really blame myself, because I was going for an audacious skip, and I just about missed it. But the third star was absolute, you know, pants. I shouldn't have missed it at all. And that meant I had to go for 4-B, which lost me a minute. So this time here got delayed all the way to 4-Castle. And that's where the minute time loss there can be attributed to 3-3. And also it can the time loss in 3-4 could also be attributed to 3-3, to be honest. Because I could have easily gained 15 seconds on that level, because I died on my 229, but I had to go for the extra star, which loses time. 3-7, I played it safe, got the extra star, and I only lost 9 seconds or so, which is pretty much an ideal scenario. So that was great. But you can see all of these, a lot of blues, a lot of purples, few greens, which means I was losing time to my 229. But overall, a great run. I think as well, the other time save is, of course, 6-Castle. I mean, the 11-second time save looks deceiving because it definitely wasn't. I mean, I had a run yesterday which saved 2.5 minutes on 6-Castle. With 6-Castle alone, it's sub 220. Like, so yeah, I do want to go for sub 220 next time, but I don't. If I do live stream it, I don't think it will be as good as this. Or if it is, I will have to do a few resets. But it took a lot out of me today, this category. I'm not going to be doing a Mario percent run for a few days or so. I won't take a 2-week hiatus like I did after my 229, but I definitely will wait a while before trying to beat this. What else was very good? I mean, look, a lot of gold splits. World 4 was perfect, pretty much, apart from having to go to 4-B. World 1 was a lot better. You know, World 8's not too bad, apart from 8-6. You know, with 8-6, 6-Castle, 4-B, they're the biggest 3 time losses in the level. With those eradicated, that's a 218 already. I mean, my summer best say 212, but, you know, that's probably a bit optimistic at the moment. And, yeah, again, once I start implementing proper speedrun strats, like, you will see purples. Like, I think from now on, because this was a run with not that many deaths, from now on, I'm just going to start speedrunning this game. Like, this category. So, I will literally, I won't mind about losing, like, time for deaths. I'll just try to get as many gold splits as, purple splits as possible. Just trying to lower my summer best as low as possible. And then, hopefully, the consistency comes with time. Because too often, I've just been trying to avoid deaths, and I think I should finally turn this into a speedrun. So, don't expect this to be beaten soon, because I probably will be going for speed rather than accuracy. But, for now, this is probably as good as it's going to get. But, yeah, eventually I do want to cut the 10 minutes off required to get to the world records. And, I mean, it's only 10 minutes. It's definitely improvable. I mean, this was nearly a 10-minute cut from my previous best. So, you know, my second run was a 232. My 5th run's a 222. You never know. My 10th run could be a 212, but it's all speculation. Anyway, thank you very much for those who stayed throughout most of it. It was a blast going through it with you. Sorry that you've had this timeline at the bottom. It's been quite a pain, I know. Windows Movie Player just didn't work, so I plan on live streaming it live next time. But yeah, without further ado, thank you, and